huge fan of OpTic Gaming, huge fan of FaZe, and one thing I love even more is this rivalry, because as I said before we went to break, this is not going to be a 1 or 2 time thing. All year long, you're going to be hearing OpTic and FaZe in the grand finals. All year long, you're going to be hearing about this rivalry, and it's going to go for years to come. OpTic versus FaZe, game number 1. It's on Recharge, and the wise words of my man Farouk, let's lock it up.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the grand finals. My man Tony said it best. We're in a game number 1 in the grand finals. OpTic Gaming versus FaZe. FaZe looking to answer back. The world champions knocked them into the losers bracket with a convincing 3-0, but now FaZe, coming off that previous series, looking to change things up. But right off the bat, one goes down, and OpTic gonna have control of the camo.
Early control for OpTic Gaming. FaZe were known for that in that losers bracket for starting off hot. SSG had to keep up with them off of the starting strats all the way through the mid game, but an immediate 3 down by OpTic Gaming allows them to steal away that shock rifle, allows them also to steal away the active camouflage, and now OpTic are the ones setting the pace here in the early game on Recharge. Lucid, ball, shock rifle, and trying to slingshot that ball forward here, just barely missing out on that one, but goes right back in to Slang from across the map. APG and 50 back-to-back kills. OpTic looking to get into an early setup.
Yeah, OpTic looking like they're in the driver's seat to start this grand finals off. And honestly, after sitting, waiting for that series to go on versus FaZe versus SSG, you know, not very warmed up, but coming into this game looking like they've been warmed up all day long, Tony.
They haven't skipped the beat whatsoever. As I say that, FaZe are able to put them 2 down immediately. Former with a big flank and huge damage onto 2, maybe even 3 different players there, but it's still FaZe that rotate that ball onto the gold side. Trippy just a step behind, but wants to apply pressure here. The first one in, hopefully not the first one to go down.
And this is what we saw in that previous series. FaZe just so good at scrapping that ball time up. They get the kill necessary onto Lucid, and now they can continue to get that ball time. 3 down for OpTic. Roll 2 with ball in hand.
20-12 lead for FaZe. We're seeing Renegade, Frosty, and Snakebite all taking space here onto the gold side. They expect to push out of Formal and the rest of OpTic over through Longhorn. Looks like they anticipated Row and stopped one with the quickness, but didn't account for Trippy. Over towards the Whirlpool, doing damage onto multiple players. Goes in for the challenge onto Renegade, but Renegade hits the double kill. Had to deal around. I was afraid for a second. Eventually, Renegade does end up going down, but FaZe still add to their lead.
We're seeing an evenly matched 2 rosters here, right? They set a split on 2 sides, a 2v2 situation. And because of that, both sides trade out. But all the while, FaZe, the ball time being garnered here, 47 seconds and counting, but that's the second camo in the hands of Formal. He's looking to make work with it.
Expected Frosty to back down. Did not expect the double back out of Frosty. He's able to put that damage in, but Formal somehow staying alive. Him and Trippy working a bit of a 1-2 combo. The double push is in. First one down for FaZe. Need a little bit more to go. The green gun should be able to help them, but there's 3 members of FaZe that are pushing right through. The first one gonna be World 2. He ends up getting the kill and takes down Trippy as well, and neither one of that double push goes down, so numbers heavily in favor of FaZe. Lucid trying to get right back into the play. APG's already there. They're gonna have to work a 1-2 combo of their own. 3 members of OpTic caught up onto the A side, but they need the kills, and apparently those kills are not coming.
So many people talk about KD right there, but you see what Snakebite did. He's 2-4, but the play that he just made really set up FaZe to get this ball rotation and to continue to get time. Lucid went in by himself because Snakebite was there to distract and put damage in, and now FaZe approaching 70 seconds in this round number 1.
What's crazy to me is all the action that we've seen so far, the 68-14 lead. FaZe having to balance both holding onto that ball, holding onto the setup, and slaying out, and it works out for them. But now OpTic answer right back in. It looks like they gained control of the C side of the map. gaining quickly. That lead started to slip just a bit as OpTic building a green wall of defense over toward the seaside. FaZe looking to go right through it, looking, I guess, to phase right through it. Renegade takes down one. Snakebite following it up. Before you know it, OpTic end up 3 down and are forced to play the ball.
OpTic forced to play the ball. 2 down for OpTic now. Camo in the hands of Frosty. This is going to be the first camo for FaZe, and gets a kill with it. Able to provide that value and time on the board for his squad here. It's isolating players like they did with Lucid right there. Once again, that makes FaZe so very good. The chaos on the map just makes it very difficult for OpTic to push in numbers, and every time they push, they're at a numbers disadvantage. A triple kill for Frosty.
Frosty absolutely obliterating 3 members of OpTic, and even the 4th one gonna fall as well. Renegade with the remote detonation. And with that, just gonna grapple that ball forward, needing about 20 seconds worth of time. Just gonna drop that off, say, hey, hold this ball for me. I got some work to do. Frosty looking to go off. Lucid somehow winning that individual gunfight, but the cleanup coming in quickly. Ball played by FaZe. OpTic were able to get that pressure in, but once again going 3 down, and FaZe are pretty damn objective efficient when it comes to oddball.
And this is why it's so important that FaZe have to win 2 best-of-7s. You've got to maintain that competitive integrity. OpTic have had to wait in the grand finals for series to finish, and obviously they've got to have time to get warm, to get into that flow. See Lucid right there starting off 7-11. It's definitely uncharacteristic of him, but we'll see if OpTic can pick this up.
The play ball is forced. OpTic able to get a lot of scrappy time right there to catch up to this lead, but it feels like it's only a matter of time. Just one good round of slays here for FaZe in order for them to get the final 10 seconds needed. Minute 34 seconds on the clock. Another active camouflage. I think OpTic really needs to not only man this ball, but keep this camouflage out of the hands of FaZe. A big kill by Formal to snatch up that shock rifle. He's not going to get checked here on the battle edge side. Lucid and Trippy right up. Trippy rotating that ball over, and now OpTic have that setup locked in right now, watching all angles, but Trippy the first one to go down.
Yeah, Trippy had the camo in hand, so that camo won't be a factor anymore. Formal is also isolated. Renegade spots him out, gonna get the kill onto him, and now FaZe with the numbers advantage, gonna go for this ball and continue to rotate it over to Pipes, but they've got some pressure on that side as well. They could very well be trapped inside a long haul right here.
And Frosty with the shock rifle plays, putting a shock to everyone's system, and that's gonna end round number 1. FaZe taking it in a decisive manner. Both FaZe and OpTic, damn good oddball teams. You have FaZe so far this weekend, they're 4-1. You got OpTic who are 3-0 right now, looking to finally get their first blemish by one of the better oddball teams this weekend. FaZe looking good in round 1, but OpTic off the start looking good again. I think they were able to steal away that camouflage, having to answer right back does FaZe, and they do so by putting OpTic on the black screen here. Numbers advantage mean FaZe are gonna rotate that ball over toward the A side. Snakebite anchoring and watching that long haul angle, literally putting a cross right through the map, and finally camouflage gets activated right now.
That's a smart play by Snakebite. We've seen OpTic Gaming kill time when the opposing team has, you know, a camo or an overshield. They make sure to kill that time, but because he delays it, they're not sure exactly where he is or where he's placed. And look at this, the push comes through, isolated one by one. They come in, and one by one they go down. That's 2 down for FaZe though, and a perfect out of Trippy is gonna even up the numbers. 3 down for FaZe. Renegade trying to get position on the map.
Patient plays were huge by Snakebite right there, doing enough damage and playing his life, being a nuisance and a thorn in the side of OpTic, but somehow it's Trippy, APG, and the rest of OpTic that answer back that big double kill. APG snatching that ball away from the A side setup. An eye for an eye, a great play for a great one. OpTic answering right back here, and my gosh, APG getting so much value out of his life, just as much as Snakebite did with that camouflage.
Yeah, it's the definition of doing it all. He's on every end, making sure to rotate that ball, gets the kills, but Frosty coming back, and when Frosty's heating up, and Renegade is 22-12, you've got a nasty time here for OpTic. This is gonna be very difficult. They're up 1 round.
Both of these teams so evenly matched right now. You were seeing individual and team plays being made across the board, but somehow it's Frosty and FaZe that start off with the 23-0 run. And with Frosty hitting shots with his shock rifle and still having some in the chamber, you can't even catch up to him, especially with that grapple. Formal tries to chase him out, but the body shot allows Snakebite to come in for the bait and switch. APG quickly rotating that ball toward the long haul side because somehow Frosty ends up the final player alive here. We do see FaZe starting to gain ground over toward long haul, and the first kill belongs to Renegade.
Yeah, that initial kill is going to be huge, but Lucid's got a position on the back end along there as well, so you got to take care of him too. Trippy goes in. Frosty's going to get that kill and stays alive with his grapple, but Lucid comes in once again. Lucid ends up going down, but not without doing some massive damage there. It's going to be FaZe, though, who control the pipe side. It's got to be a rotation because spawns are coming out on A from FaZe, and OpTic are on the push.
And Roll too. Thought he was gonna try to buy time right there onto the gold side, but looks like he goes right in, was at least looking for a trade, and neither will come. FaZe allowed to push up here, but a little too late to help Roll too, but luckily Renegade and Snakebite. They were a two-man army of two, able to bust right through. Formal with a double kill to slow them down just a bit. Renegade thought he was gonna have some free time, didn't know that OpTic were coming in from multiple angles.
3 down for FaZe now. OpTic, they've got to take out Frosty here, but once they do, they can have this set up on the elevator side, and they do just that. FaZe now have to be on the aggression. You see Lucid trying to hold the cross on bottom A. The problem is pushes are coming from both angles, and that's where the teamwork from OpTic needs to be utilized, right? Their chemistry so very strong, and they get 2 dead right off the bat, and now potentially going to take this lead in round number 2.
These two teams are neck and neck right now. All the action that we've seen so far, and so far only 26 points across the board for both of these teams. We've seen them actually duking it out. We saw so many plays being made by both teams and so little ball time. There was no space for these guys, and looks like Frosty's calling for that. He's calling for that. He's like, oh, yeah. I've been going off with the shock rifle. Even had the camouflage. Snakebite say no problem. You take it. Snakebite gets a double kill. Only needs him and his trusty BR. And now Frosty working on the rest of the pushers, and Formal able to deal with them. That was 3 members of OpTic going down, but the spawners do work in their favor. They're spawning as close as possible to this ball. Snakebite recognized that, drops it quickly, gets himself a kill, and that kill buys so much time, and that's just more scrap time on the board here. Eventually that ball does roll off. I was a bit worried for a second.
Does roll off, but the grapple is there. Because of that, Lucy gonna grab that ball right back up to A. And that's such a big play, right? It's such a bad spot down at the bottom of Mangler Stairs, but he's able to get it and continue to get ball time. The rotation does come out in answer to the push, but 3 down for OpTic. Lucid's by himself, but he's gonna get pushed by Frosty here, and he gets taken out as well.
Frosty by himself, clearing out that gold side of multiple different players. Renegade doing everything can to stay alive, baiting OpTic in to the rest of the team because FaZe are watching every angle, but a remote detonation out of APG might have not been accounted for. Eventually APG does go down, but it opens up for Formal to be able to push up onto the Whirlpool side. Renegade now backing down. The rest of OpTic moving into formation and position. Renegade bounces right out, plays a little bit of SWAT, 1 shot, 1 kill right to the dome of Formal, and just like that, FaZe, they gain control seemingly out of nowhere. Active camouflage is coming up.
Yeah, FaZe had a lot of control right there, and unfortunately, OpTic Gaming took apart the pieces in the wrong order. Snakebite was able to be on that cross on glass. APG does take him out, but it's a little too late. They're able to get massive ball time here, 71 seconds and counting, and with a minute remaining, OpTic's got to have an answer now.
I feel like for the first time we're seeing the shock rifle in somebody's hands other than Frosty, and Lucid showing us that he knows what to do with it as well. Formal dropping that ball, wants to put in work with the camouflage, and FaZe having to make a very long rotation in from the long haul side through the gold side of the map in order to catch up onto the A side setup that OpTic have, but Slays lead to the pushes. And the first few kills go in favor of FaZe. Trippy entering back. Renegade comes in with a perfect kill, but can't quite find the second one onto Lucid. Lucid with a great ball rotation. Frosty tries to get into the action. Wins the piv on Trippy. Can the rest of the FaZe move in?
I love the confidence out of FaZe here and the aggression, but it's the discipline out of OpTic that have won them 3 championships in a row, and they're showing that discipline here to come back in this game, 71-59. Making a comeback, but 3 down. They've got to now reslay once again with all of FaZe on A.
18 seconds left in FaZe, still having the lead, so they're definitely playing the shot clock here. This is the opportunity they've afforded themselves by just having that early lead. Lucid wanted to get over toward the gold side. He's gonna grapple that ball right back in, just barely missing out, and with just 4 seconds left, he cannot die here. It can't quite turn the corner. Frosty ends up getting the double kill. Trippy gets caught out of position onto the Whirlpool side. APG is able to get that ball, but all he can do is try to play it out, and it's not going to be enough. FaZe take it 2-0, and oh my gosh, that grappled him.
I can't believe that was only game number 1, Tony. The grapple. It's been talked about a little bit on Twitter. You know, Sparty had ended up tweeting about it. You've got to be very accurate now. Looks like maybe a change has happened. I'm not sure, but people are, you know, looking to be a little more accurate with the grapple, and unfortunately just missing by a hair is gonna end up putting you inside of batteries, the worst position possible. He almost makes the best of it, but unfortunately it's not enough. He ends up getting taken down, and with 4 seconds remaining, the time ends up running out.
FaZe taking that game number 1. One thing they couldn't do in the winners bracket finals here, but OpTic having plenty of opportunity to answer back. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a best of 7. And in order for FaZe to become your champions, they have to not only win one best of 7 series to reset the bracket, but win yet another one. So a long journey ahead of FaZe. We're going to game number 2. It's gonna be right here on the streets. Rocket launcher, stalker rifle, bulldog, and plenty more. Can FaZe go up 2-0, or will we see the response out of OpTic Gaming?
It's exactly what it needs to be as a response. You see, Ormal takes a very important top position on tires there, and because of that, he's able to get the Rockets. They do trade out. Lucid picks them up, and that's gonna be a 2-2 trade. OpTic coming on top of that one with another kill, so 3-2 the score to start this game.
Lucid immediately picking up that bulldog. We talk about the sandbox often. Well, right now, World 2 has the stalker rifle in hands for FaZe, and we have the bulldog in the hands of OpTic. Renegade with the huge kill onto the arcade side, and then dropping the shroud to secure to make sure that he stays alive. Nades coming in left and right, because it looks like OpTic are trying to push through, clean up on that damage, but it's not gonna happen. Formal, the first one to go down once again. APG follows it up. Lucid does end up coming in with that bulldog, but Renegade is just playing a bit of hide and seek. Not able to finish Lucid. The back smack does end up coming in, just like that, tied up at 6 apiece.
Yeah, great play by Lucid to trust his teammate there. Ends up staying alive. Renegade overextends, and that's a kill on the board, and a little bit of control as well. As Trippy gets this kill onto A, they have this side of the map, and they're forcing the spawns onto C.
Trippy controlling the purple side here. APG immediately taking height over towards heaven, so it looks like OpTic want to play through the A side of the map. FaZe having to play from the bottom side to take the B street, and APG is able to take down Frosty. The long range shots connect. Trippy wants to take advantage, so he's pushing right through. The moment OpTic get those numbers is the moment OpTic just break through the subway side and claim control immediately. Luckily, FaZe coming right off his spawn, cleaning up just a bit. Once again, we are tied up. Love that play by OpTic. Love the response by FaZe even more.
Yeah, if you end up watching the HCS Charlotte tournament there, this was their game 7, and it was very close. It actually went to time, so expect this to be a very close game. World 2, that's a big shroud screen right there. It's going to net on the Rockets, and now they're going to take space on the map with this one. One dead on the side of OpTic. Now they're looking for the spawns, but you see OpTic is on that B side, so they're going to play this slow, try to get a pick like you talked about. It's very important, that first pick, and then they can push for more.
OpTic are playing with fire, going 2 down right as Rockets are coming up and allowing World 2 to steal it for free. And we know how patient a player World 2 is. He's not going to waste these Rockets at all. Lucid is able to catch Frosty. It looks like the information is being given, though. They know where World 2 is with the Rockets, so now OpTic are able to catch him from multiple different sides. Lucid awarded a kill onto that one, and although FaZe answered back, it looks like they're able to get those Rockets out of the hands of World 2. Luckily, Renegade did have a stalker rifle in his back pocket, but OpTic, they don't send just one, they send multiple.
Yeah, OpTic do a really good job of answering, like you said, off that information. Just being spotted once throws off the entire push right there for World 2. with a stalker rifle in hand on the side of OpTic here. FaZe have to play slow to make sure that they calculate this break, and they're making the push right now. Snakebite's gonna go down, but a beautiful trade comes out. 3 down for OpTic.
That's a big swing going for FaZe here. This battle is neck and neck. APG staying alive on the purple side, coming right back in with the Bulldog after Raw 2. I thought Raw 2's normally the one who barks, but APG puts the Bulldog on them, but eventually they go 3 down once again. This lead started to heavily go in favor of FaZe with 4-kill game, which feels like a lot more with how neck and neck and how slow the action has been. Rockets coming up. And this time if FaZe get it again, I promise it's not going to go to waste. And Renegade has it in hands. Frosty taking down Trippy. Snakebite ends up going down the RK side. Renegade showing us that those rockets are not an automatic kill. He ends up backing down immediately, playing his life. I guess is what really matters, as FaZe have the largest lead so far of this game at 6.
Yeah, and you notice FaZe always have the shroud screen in hand when those rockets come up. It's very important to control that shroud screen. You see it on live fire as well with the overshield, and controlling that shroud screen, making sure that you utilize it to get the most powerful weapons on the map, and that's exactly what FaZe did.
Once again, OpTic going to the default, retreating over toward the A side. FaZe's default so far has been going right back over towards Subway. Normally, I love that A side control, but it hasn't been working too much for OpTic, as FaZe somehow still have the lead, but with half the members of FaZe on the black screen, the other half being attacked by OpTic. Lucid right in the face. They take control of the Subway side, end up flipping the map immediately, and that's gonna net Lucid a stalker rifle.
We'll bring this within 3, make it 2. And that stalker rifle is going to be a thorn in the side here. Another use of that shroud screen, making sure to utilize it to stay alive, and especially, like I said, with these power weapons in hand. And now with 2 kills on the board for APG, we got a tie game, 30-30.
Lead slips away. 08. Oh, shoot. OpTic Gaming catch right back up. Lucid and Trippy getting the kills that matter most here. The A side setup finally starting to work here for OpTic Gaming the way they wanted it to, and now with flipping control, the spawning players of FaZe have to make a play, and Renegade does just that. The spike grenades pull him out of position long enough for Formal to come in for the easy cleanup. Lucid trying to chase away the last remaining members of FaZe over towards that purple side. A 35-32 lead over FaZe. OpTic supposed to have the advantage, and the stats go in favor of them. This is FaZe's worst game type at 68% win rate, of course, but also Streets being their worst map as well, and somehow they've controlled most of the game.
Honestly, they've controlled the game, but they've also controlled these rockets. Another rocket in the hands of FaZe once again. A lot of the power weapons as well. You see Renegade with both power weapons here. Gonna start to play slow. This is gonna be the pace of the game probably for the rest of the duration here. No one wants to give up any free kills, which also would give up space on the map.
Renegade, of course, making sure he checks every corner here. He knows how sneaky Trippy and OpTic like to play, and with the information, Renegade planting that rocket right at the feet of Lucid. Trippy doesn't end up hitting the black screen as well when FaZe hit that 40 kill mark, just 10 kills away from coming out with the win. It looks like Frosty able to put the Bulldog to work. OpTic Gaming are being shredded here right off of spawn. The moment they spawn up over toward the arcade side, they have reticles trained on them from multiple different angles, and now the collapse beginning to come in from FaZe. We're started off as a 2 down, turns to 3, turns to 4, turns to 7 consecutive kills, with only being able to answer back with taking down 1. FaZe are at their most dangerous when they're rolling like this. OpTic, they need to slow them down. They're about to go down 2-0.
It's the confidence coming out of FaZe here. They're pushing aggressively, like you said, pushing off that numbers advantage, catching out isolated players like APG on that PD side. But it's 1v1s like that could bring this game back. It's only a 5-kill game right now, and it's up to Lucid and all of OpTic to make sure they play disciplined Halo from here on out and bring this game back. It's within 3 now.
What a big play by Lucid and Trippy, though. Those back-to-back kills can be huge, but Formal ends up going down. Frosty and Snakebite want to continue to apply pressure. Another trade happens on the map, but that trade puts FaZe 1 kill away, and the Rockets are gonna steal it off the rack, off the hook. It doesn't matter. FaZe are up 2-0 against OpTic Gaming here in the grand finals.
A very convincing 2-0 here for FaZe, but they've got to win 2 best-of-7s. They've got to win this one first. We've still got a couple games to go in that, and then they've got to win another one. And maybe OpTic Gaming sitting there, understanding that, you know, these misplays potentially not very good for their team and their squad, but they've got something to fall back on. They've got a get out of jail free card with this reset.
Back-to-back wins here for FaZe. That third one, that could be it. I mean, obviously it takes 4 to win in a best-of-7, but imagine a team having to fight back and reverse sweep down 0-3. I mean, if I'm OpTic Gaming, I'm considering this game number 3. I'm considering it a must-win.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way you can fall 0-3. There's no way you can give that much strength, that much momentum to FaZe. OpTic, you need an answer right now. It's a long way from the 3-0 sweep that we saw here in the winners finals, and here in the grand is where it matters most. Going into live fire, where you're at, OpTic.
It was really impressive to me that FaZe was able to get pretty much every single, I think about every single rocket on that Streets game, utilizing that Shroud screen to do so. You see the Shroud screen once again in the hands of FaZe as they do spawn on this tower side, but we'll see what they're able to do in terms of getting this break on these 2 caps and also getting this OS that comes up in about 10 seconds.
Early double cap for OpTic Gaming, but the early sniper rifle controlled by Renegade, and we know that the sniper rifle controls live fire. Renegade right back up to the tower side. Lucid gonna sneak right in, just barely missing out on that one, and doesn't want to ego challenge Lucid, but Lucid still chasing him down, claiming control of the sniper rifle while also taking C simultaneously. Looks like OpTic once again turning the AB setup into a BC. Excellent rotation by them. A 24-1 start. A double kill now coming out of Trippy with that sniper. Lines up the second one, and Renegade almost got bodied yet again. Trippy gonna do the high IQ play, back down, play his life right towards the spawning players. They may have lost Bravo, but OpTic still are alive and have another chance for a push.
Yeah, you have to think too, FaZe did get that very first OS with the Shroud screen as well, and they've now started to get some points on the board, but an OS null and void in that situation. You see here, OpTic now pushing their advantage. They get 2 down onto FaZe and now taking control of the A side of the map. It's a little bit scary for FaZe here as World 2 is isolated onto B. But you're gonna see another fight for this overshield coming up here shortly. Trippy trying to get the stick. It's not going to work out. Frosty's going to take him out.
And with that overshield coming up, you can only imagine how important it was for Trippy to play his life. Eventually, Tripp and APG both go down, and now FaZe are going to attack this overshield from the A and the C side at the same time. I believe Renegade was on that overshield, but I'm not sure he was able to stay alive with it. It looks like Snakebite is able to pick it up, but by that time, OpTic sent multiple members over. A triple kill by Trippy. Overshield ends up being shredded. A triple kill being answered right back, an eye for an eye as World 2 shutting down the overshield side of the map, and FaZe end up taking the lead.
Incredible answer back there by World 2, and a great job utilizing that Shroud screen to peek in and out of it. It's an underutilized feature at the moment where they can only see your gun, but you can kind of see a little bit through that Shroud screen if you position yourself correctly. World 2 going to utilize the Heat Wave now, but does not connect, and now OpTic Gaming have 2 down for FaZe, and got some more time on the board. FaZe, their lead is starting to dwindle.
Formal does end up connecting on the double, and OpTic do take a bit of control here while already having that Bravo and Charlie setup. I don't like the damage that's being taken by APG. Trippy tries to cover his back, but eventually APG falls. Trippy now having to make a play, but doesn't have the exit to stay alive. Formal onto the pillar side with that sniper rifle. Lucid with the mind the gap, knocking Renegade right off the map. That can be huge for them, but it's still FaZe that are locked in over toward the B side. They have angles onto the A side as well. OpTic need a kill.
As we all know, Halo is a numbers game, and Frosty gets that first kill, make that 2. Loose is going to answer back, but Formal's in trouble right now, stuck in the bottom center of the map. He's going to get pushed so aggressively here, and that means that Frosty now has the sniper in hand with Shroud Screen, potentially going to set up for this OS on the outside, but he's going to be aggressive, and he takes space to try and help Royal 2, who's stuck in window.
Frosty wants to stay alive in the overshow side as long as possible. That body shot is going to be huge as FaZe take down 2 members of OpTic Gaming right as that overshow is coming up, and the third one falls. All of OpTic Gaming playing towards that overshoot, and somehow they don't end up with it. C and A in the hands of FaZe. Frosty with the body shot nets him the easy melee kill. Shroud so that he stays alive over on the tower side. This is looking tough for OpTic Gaming. Every time they make a play, FaZe answer right back.
And that's it, right? It's the answers back, just like that push from APG into that Shroud Screen. Frosty's aware of the push, the communication comes out, but look at this. 2 dead once again for OpTic, playing a ring around the Rosie. Trippy goes down, and that's how it happens, right? FaZe so difficult. It's so difficult to kill FaZe. They've always got angles on each other. They're always doing such a good job at staying alive. And because of that, they've got a massive lead right now, approaching 115 seconds of time.
OpTic clearly not aware that FaZe are a 9-time champion when it comes to ring around the Rosie. Ain't no pockets full of posies around here. I don't know. 123 to 69 lead. FaZe having control once again here on live fire. The pings are going in as they're trying to figure out where OpTic are going to try to attack for. Are they going to try to headbutt A? Are they going to try to wrap and go towards the B side? Somehow Renegade is wondering, how did he end up on the C side of the map for free? OpTic are controlling A. Renegade go right back in. Looks like OpTic will respond to it. Formal on the mid side might be a 1v1. It's Formal versus Renegade, and of course Renegade brings it automatic. Formal having one of his own when it comes to the pink mist versus the assault rifle. The pink mist works. OpTic steals away Charlie, and another double cap for OpTic Gaming.
Yes, that was a big play by Renegade right there, not to get into C right away, to get information first. He flips it, but then that 1v1 massively won there by Formal. Those are the 1v1s we call pivotal fights in Halo Infinite, but FaZe, a massive lead still, 142 to 89.
Overshield is up. It looks like FaZe are gaining shields and have the positioning to grab a hold of it. The remote detonation by Snakebite, high IQ play. And with that, World 2 not only is able to steal away that overshield and the sniper rifle, but has that overshield in the pocket ready and is going to get max value. He said, I don't even want the sniper. I want to get up close and personal with this overshield. You take the sniper rifle and you go to work the reversal into the boxer. Not exactly what you want to see out of that overshield play, but as long as FaZe have the lead, I guess it doesn't matter much.
Yeah, maybe a miscommunication there. He wasn't able to push aggressively. I believe it was APG who pushed this player back on the A side, so push didn't end up working out, but that's just another OS in the hands of FaZe, and I believe that's OS number 3 for them in a row. So once again, FaZe doing an incredible job of controlling these power-ups in this game.
Stronghold capture.
Live Fire was known as OpTic's best game back in Season 1, barely losing any games on this map. But so far, FaZe have been dominant. It's a new season and a new look FaZe as Trippy trying to stay alive with the sniper rifle makes a play in order to get that double kill. That's going to be huge. So is he able to stay alive? Renegade's looking for him. Can't quite find him. Apparently, FaZe are the 9-time champions and ring around the Rosie, but when it comes to hide and seek, there ain't no one better than Trippy.
Trippy 16 and 10. And he continues on a tear here, and this is exactly what you need when you're down 0-2 in a series. You need a player like Trippy to pop off and take control, and you know what happens is the rest of the team come around him and do the same. OpTic looking for that comeback right now. We've seen crazier comebacks on live fire. Stronghold, and he drops down, and Renegade's gonna meet his fate once again. Look at him go right back up top, get control of tower, and continue to take control of C. Trippy is on a tear right now, and he's not stopping anytime soon.
We call this a must-win game for OpTic Gaming and FaZe. Although they started off hot and with the first team reaching that 200-point mark, we thought OpTic Gaming might have been out of it. But look at the comeback. Look at the way OpTic are moving. They moving much different right now. I guess they must be built different. The green wall stands tall, and they're still in a triple cap locked in. But as I say that, a triple down for OpTic allows FaZe to steal away C easily. You're also seeing Renegade and the rest of FaZe addressing the B side, so all of that momentum that OpTic built up might have been for nothing if FaZe can hold on to the double cap.
Yeah, it's shifts like that, though, that OpTic need if they want to come back in this game. You saw the energy. You said they're moving different. It's just due to the fact that they see Trippy starting to perform, and they want to do a little bit of the same. They want to help their boy out. But is FaZe going to let that happen? They've got a double cap on the board. Finally, OpTic do get C. But Lucid trying to make the aggression here. Look how much damage he takes. He's going to wait now 5 seconds to push on through, and because of that, Trippy's all alone.
Double cap for FaZe. 223 to 159 lead. FaZe just a few seconds away from going up 3-0 and putting OpTic Gaming in one of the worst positions you can be in a best of 7. OpTic need an answer right now, so APG flying right over toward the A side. He does have the help he needs over towards window. A will be captured. OpTic have started Bravo but can't quite find the finish on it. Reset comes in. All of FaZe know that OpTic are pushing over towards B, so look at it, they are locked in. Explosions left and right, nades are coming in. Eventually APG ends up going down. OpTic rotating over towards Charlie, but FaZe matching them right in, and they are simply running out of time. 2:48 in counting. OpTic taking 2 bases at the same time.
Yeah, that was a really big play right there by Lucid with 2:48 on the clock for FaZe. Lucid had to stay alive right there so that he can assist to push on to A. It's going to be a rotation game now, but still possible for OpTic to come back in this game.
The double push by FaZe going right over towards Charlie. APG looking for a piv with that sniper, can't quite connect, and with that, Charlie gets captured. Alpha's not addressed. FaZe are up 3-0. Where was this in the winners bracket finals?
I'm telling you, you play different. You play different in this scenario. You're in the grand finals. Of course, you've got to win 2 best of 7, so you've got to bring this energy. You've got to bring it quick, and FaZe is doing just that. They need one more to reset the bracket against OpTic Gaming. Where's the answer, Tony? OpTic Gaming's got to come up with an answer quick.
Well, hopefully they can find it here on Aquarius. Aquarius capture the flag is the last opportunity for OpTic to answer here in the first series. And then to remind you guys, FaZe having to win 2 best of 7 series in order to become your champions, and that's because OpTic swept them in the winners bracket finals to put them in this position to begin with. But I told you guys, we're gonna see a much different looking FaZe, and so far FaZe 3-0 start, matching that same energy that OpTic gave to them. Can they pull the sweep here in the first best of 7 in your grand finals?
Like I said, it's definitely a fact that OpTic has come into this and, sitting around, not necessarily warming up. Even if they've done whatever, Octagon or 2v2 flag warm up, it's nothing like playing in a tournament scenario like they are now. But we've had now 3 games for them to warm up, 3 games for them to get their act together, and unfortunately FaZe are just on a momentum that is unstoppable at the moment. They get 2 dead right off the bat here and looking to take control of top center, but Trippy has an answer for that.
And things going from bad to worse here for OpTic Gaming, because FaZe not only taking controls in the Slay department here in the early game, but Frosty snatching up active camouflage, putting it to work onto Lucid. And although he's able to get the kill onto 1, Lucid lives. And the rest of OpTic Gaming are able to push up over toward the P side, but that's exactly where Renegade is.
Yeah, and again, it's the teamwork utilized right there, right? Renegade stays alive. World 2's got his cross. They've got top center control, and OpTic are just in a blender right now. FaZe are looking to play the aggression, but I love the idea of Frosty to kind of back off here. He knows the spawns are coming out on P1, and he wants to force those spawns. It's all about being 1 step ahead of the opponent, and Frosty looking to make sure that he takes every advantage he can.
And that he does. That angle being caught through the window side, no matter what. He's going to find that kill. He's going to find that damage onto OpTic Gaming and moves it right in to the top mid control. But you notice both Snakebite and Renegade going down on the utility side. Frosty thought he was providing backup, but now he's kind of being left here on the island, left alone onto the car side, but apparently like a lone wolf, that's where he thrives, because somehow Frosty stays alive. FaZe end up spawning up and putting OpTic 3 down once again, keeping them on their 3rd of the map. great job by FaZe to really turn a non-advantageous position into an advantageous one to keep that map control.
Again, it's that communication right there, right? Frosty knew that he was getting pushed on that car one side. He comes back out, gets the chow. He's got the thrust as well. FaZe has done such a good job of controlling all the resources on every map they've played in this series. And again, they get the camo on Aquarius as well. And this is the defining factor right here, Tony, for FaZe. They're winning these matches because they're controlling everything on the map.
And it's so funny because when we talked about one of the Achilles heels here for FaZe, you know, Snakebite talked about the fact that they really weren't the best at controlling the sandbox. They really weren't the best at grabbing and keeping hold of those power weapons and equipment. But look at how much they've been able to address that. They said that bringing Renegade in, they were hoping would change, and apparently it has done just that. And it's done enough to not only net them a 3-0 so far in this series, but a 1-0 lead in this now actually a must-win game for OpTic in Game 4.
If FaZe win this game, they will reset the bracket and we will go to another best of 7. We've seen OpTic recover before in resets. This roster has just become so disciplined in their game, and it's something that they've worked on for so very long. It's something that's won them so many events, but right now, not showing that same discipline, playing a little bit staggered, playing a little bit maybe with a lack of confidence, if I might say. Definitely not over just yet, though. FaZe do have the lead 1-0. OpTic looking to answer back.
I love how over to the utility side, like Snakebite's dead body was like hanging off the wall. Renegade had like so much visual color to deal with. He probably put more shots into Snakebite's dead body just hanging there off of the wall than he did the opposition. Eventually, FaZe do end up going 3 down. Formal wants to take advantage of that immediately. So car side control, even spun around, double take 3 times to make sure that nobody on FaZe in position. And Formal gets a free route from the car through the utility, and now is in FaZe's base, infiltrating here as APG taking down Renegade. Slays going in favor of OpTic Gaming. 3 down go FaZe. Formal with a bit of a fumble, but that's not gonna stop him. P-side run, APG blocking the spawns. This is a textbook run by OpTic Gaming.
And that's exactly what we're used to by OpTic Gaming, right? They force the spawns onto FaZe, they get control, they are able to pull this flag freely, and they tie the game up 1-1. OpTic looking to answer back right now, down 0-3 in this series, but starting to show a little bit of life.
I love that Lucid's already applying pressure onto the utility side, being a nuisance. Tripping APG are already pushed up again. What started off as 1 cap for OpTic could have turned to 2 until FaZe respond. Lucid finds the final player there, but FaZe successfully cleared 3 out of 4 members of OpTic off their base, but they didn't count for Formal. Formal in the fridge, staying alive, buying enough time for the rest of OpTic to push up. P-side control for OpTic Gaming. FaZe extending towards the car side.
The human UAV himself on your screen right now. The call outs out of this man, 3,000 words per second, getting all the information out. Absolute insane communication out of Formal, and something he's so incredible at. And like we talked about earlier, right, that information's so very vital, but that kill from Royal 2 is going to be huge. He gets traded out. That's a big trade by Lucid to stop that pull.
Camouflage coming up in 20 seconds. Snakebite immediately diving in for that return. Looks like he's gonna switch out with Renegade, who happens to be full shields, but somehow the return finally comes through. APG thought he might have been able to get that pull, but car side control trying to be held. The nade's just too much here. That's gonna alleviate APG right off of that car side and right off the map. Snakebite in the base here of OpTic Gaming with that nade and that pull. OpTic know exactly where he's at, but can they deal with him is another question entirely.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? They have to deal with him. He's making himself a nuisance on this map. That's going to be a crazy curb slide to get the flag towards bottom center. But unfortunately, FaZe do not have the kills in order to make this flag go home. 2 down on the side of FaZe, and OpTic continuing to slay out here with all 4 alive and 3 down for FaZe. OpTic looking to take control and possibly another cap.
High risk, high reward, not going to pay off there for FaZe, but hold on. That flag is still pushed forward. They got it all the way over towards the base, but couldn't quite run it home. And now OpTic are in there doing damage, starting a flag run of their own, a bit of a counter. Frosty having to answer back with a big double kill. What a play by Frosty, and eventually OpTic go 3 down themselves, so nobody gonna be netted a cap on that one. We're tied up at 1 apiece. Lucid covering his teammates back. No man left behind is the mentality you have to have.
You gotta have that mentality, and that's the mentality that wins games. See, OpTic did have control there, but FaZe so very good at being able to come off their spawn on back flag and get the slays necessary. Because of that, they're able to stop that pull. But Lucid is in your base, and you've got to do something about him. All of OpTic is alive, 1 down for FaZe, and the flag is about to go past the 50% portion of the map for both sides.
Flag being ran here by Lucid. Formal in the face of 1, but Snakebite gonna win that engagement. The double melee too strong. APG is able to follow through, and now he gets a return. Almost able to get the touch on that flag there. Utility side not cleared out just yet. Trippy putting his body on the line. It looks like that touch is gonna happen, but World 2 comes out of nowhere with that heat wave, drops the nade that should have put Formal down to 1 shot, but Formal somehow gets the touch, passes it over to APG. We have World 2 that wants to take on a 1v2, and it's not gonna happen. APG relays that flag forward, able to put the shots in for Frosty, but somehow Frosty pulls that flag off, and OpTic have to work for yet another return.
Yeah, great job by FaZe right there, right? Not to go for that pull on on OpTic's flag right away. They wait for an opportunity. They try to go for the slays first. It pays off. Now that flag coming out, and Snakebite with a camo gonna be able to have a little bit of a standoff here. And with 3 minutes and 23 seconds remaining, a standoff is gonna get very intense for both squads. It's gonna come down to what kills happen on either side. And right now we're in a 3v3.
Camouflage running out at the worst time for Snakebite, ends up getting caught in no man's land, but Frosty with a huge VR kill onto Formal. Trippy following it up despite being from across the map. World 2 somehow on the return, and nobody able to address World 2, so the return does end up coming in. It looks like Lucid gets a return of his own, so we're back at a stalemate, but Lucid ready to pull yet another flag for OpTic Gaming.
Lucid ends up going down. That flag will end up bottom center though, and we got to pay attention to that on the right side of your screen, because OpTic very good at getting the slays and then pulling this flag scrappily through bottom center of the map. APG is going to do just that towards the car side, and this flag, unless they get an answer here with 2 dead for FaZe, this flag looks like it's going to go in.
Side kick out for Trippy, making it look like that main character. That's gonna end up being a double kill, and OpTic punch in their second flag. A 2-1 lead for OpTic Gaming. 2 minutes and 12 seconds on the clock, but finally we get to see OpTic off of their back foot and play at an advantage. Now we're gonna see if FaZe can clutch up, tie up the game. Your 2-minute drill starts now.
Yeah, I think FaZe got one of the better mentals in the game, but OpTic is really good at playing with that advantage like you talked about. Playing confident Halo is where OpTic shines. Renegade's gonna push aggressively here. Unfortunately, he does not get that trade. That's gonna be a huge kill. Takes off the car presence of the map for OpTic, and now he's gonna be pushing very aggressively. With this thrust, he's gotta get at least 1 more kill.
While OpTic spread towards the perimeter of the map, they left the mid entirely open for Renegade to just sneak right through, and now what looked like a dangerous position for Renegade turns into a huge flank now, because he's behind enemy lines. Formal might find out the hard way. Renegade didn't fire a shot. I believe both players are aware of each other's positioning here. The pings are out for Renegade, letting the rest of FaZe know exactly where they're at. World 2 takes advantage of that information by taking down Lucid. Renegade just being a nuisance here. OpTic must be seeing Ghost, and finally Renegade's gonna decide to engage, able to take down Trippy. Damage onto APG, goes down to half shields, but both APG and Formal are already on that flag, and Lucid is providing cover fire from the mid-map.
That's what makes Renegade such a good player, just, you know, coming from places that you don't think he's gonna come from and just staying alive as well as he does. He plays based off of your information of him, and that's why he's such a difficult kill, but unfortunately gonna thrust and miss that clamber on the ledge there. Because of that, he goes down very quickly. 2 down for FaZe, and end up spawning up just now, but OpTic still gonna be on their side. Very powerful push from APG. Snakebite's got to stay alive in this situation, but APG gets a massive kill on the defense.
Snakebite starting the run, but can't quite follow through with it. There was no relay of that flag, and in fact, FaZe end up going 3 down. Renegade, the only player in position to pull the flag, and OpTic are able to deal with them, and just like that, nobody gonna be able to pull this flag once again. OpTic are gonna win it 2-1. They're finally on the board, and dare I say it, Tim, a reverse sweep by OpTic Gaming in the grand finals?
I think OpTic Gaming play best when they get that very first win, so a reverse sweep is definitely in the cards right now for OpTic Gaming. They're looking a lot more confident than they were at the very beginning of this series, and maybe they just needed 3 games to warm up. Game number 4 goes in their hands, and now we go to a game number 5. It's gonna be Recharge Slayer.
OpTic would have to do what they did in the winners bracket finals already, and that's win 3 games before FaZe are able to win 1. But it's still FaZe that have looked so well in this best of 7 series here in the grand finals, and I feel like they could even chalk this up and say, okay, you know what, OpTic gonna capture the flag. Right. They got us. They only beat us by 1 capture, and still feel like they have all the confidence in the world to end this series. OpTic may have had the advantage coming out of the winners bracket here in the grands, but they might have to use that because FaZe are still 1 game away from taking this best of 7.
Yeah, like I said before, I think FaZe have one of the best mentals in the game, so we'll see if they're able to continue to come out with this confidence. Obviously, that's a big loss to have, especially in the grand finals when you need to reset the bracket here. See the massive push onto this tower side. 3 down for OpTic. A very, very incredible start for FaZe here as they look to push this advantage, but only a 1 kill lead.
One thing you always talk about is, you know, how good a team is looking is usually based on their assist. And last game, you know, you saw 12 assists out of APG, 15 out of Lucid, 14 out of Form 1. Even Trippy, who had the least assist on his team, was 1 away from double digits himself at 9. And meanwhile, on the FaZe roster, there was nobody that was in double digit assist whatsoever. So maybe OpTic are finally starting to feel their groove a little bit here. Forget these individual gunfights, because where OpTic thrive is within their teamwork and their ability to make you feel surrounded, make you feel like you're in a 4v5 at times with how they're able to claim map control. Maybe it's the teamwork that's going to net OpTic another win on Slayer, but right now FaZe have the early lead.
And that's the answer that OpTic needs to have, right? They need to understand that FaZe's job is to isolate them as players and make OpTic get into 1v1 situations, because that's where FaZe is strong, just like you said. So it's up to OpTic to make sure that those 1v1s don't happen, to make sure that they're in a situation to bait and switch when necessary. But right now, it looks like FaZe starting to run away with this one. The confidence coming through, 12-7, the lead right now, but 2 down for FaZe. And it looks like maybe OpTic. Oh my goodness gracious, Trippy!
Trippy hitting them with that Aaron Rodgers impression. That was a bit of a Hail Mary, looking like Tom Brady in his prime. Off the backboard too, might I say. Trippy coming out with the huge stick from across the map. Still FaZe up by 4 kills, but maybe that was enough to ignite something within the bellies of OpTic Gaming, because you're seeing another 4 down, but this time in favor of OpTic Gaming. They have completely wiped FaZe, which is enough to get them that camouflage, shock rifle in the hands of Trippy, about to hit them with the mess around and find out.
And you got to look at that wipe from OpTic, right? It was a 4 dead, but it was a 4 dead within a second of each other. So what that does is it allows OpTic to control the spawns as well. They're just so quick to get these consecutive kills, while I feel like when it comes to FaZe, they're getting these sporadic 1v1s. You know, they're getting 1 kill here, 1 kill there. OpTic's so clean. 16-17 now. OpTic looked really weak at the start of this game, but starting to bring this game back now.
Yeah, from that cross map from Trippy, turned into the camouflage and shock rifle, turned into, you know, 3 consecutive kills for Trippy alone, let alone the rest of OpTic Gaming that are able to eat away at the lead that FaZe had. At one point, FaZe had doubled the score line of OpTic Gaming in the early game, and they've seemingly woken up now. FaZe having to respond with the same energy that OpTic did right off the spawn themselves. And Frosty once again with the shock rifle in hands. I'm starting to question whether he spawns with it or not.
I'm starting to see a lot of fours. Look at the side of FaZe Clan. 4-4, 4-4, 4-4, 4.
Oh.
Lots of fours there. But Frosty's got 10. 10 and 6 to start this game thus far for Frosty. We saw what he was able to do with his shock rifle earlier on today. We'll see if he can mimic that against the likes of OpTic. FaZe still have a massive lead here, 25-18.
Whenever Frosty has his shock rifle in hands, I tend to worry here for OpTic Gaming. Even if he's not getting the kills, just the presence, especially when he combined it with that grapple, his ability to stay alive, his ability to distract the enemy team while the rest of his team move in position, and that one headshot that he gets is devastating, right to the mental, to the brains of Formal, and goes in for the challenge onto Trippy, decides to dance with the devil, and Trippy gets the last one. APG gets a huge stick onto Renegade. OpTic gained a bit of control here.
Yeah, he knew he didn't have an out there just due to the cross of APG on the bottom of elevator, so he goes for the chow. But now Trippy with a shock rifle trying to bring this game back. A 6-kill deficit is all they need to work for, and it looks like they're going to do just that, but a push from FaZe on this upper side. Look at the glass side of FaZe. They're double pushing on that side, and they send Renegade towards that opposite side on tower.
Not all kills created equal, but the kills that Trippy have gotten so far have been so important, so impactful for OpTic to try to claw their way back into this game here. And of course, Renegade, he's able to go right at APG, grow their lead right back up to 7, just putting it that much further out of reach here for OpTic, because we're moving into that third quarter late and maybe that fourth quarter, and FaZe still have control just like they've had in this entire series. It's 3-1. FaZe are one game away from 4-1ing OpTic and moving into yet another best of 7 finals, and I don't want to see it end here like OpTic for OpTic here. OpTic, you need to respond. You gotta win this out. You gotta make it closer than it's been.
OpTic does get off that glass side, which allows World 2 to take control of that, but they also get 3 dead on the side of FaZe. Still a 4-kill game. Make that 3 as Lucy gets another one. Puts it on the board. World 2 gonna push an advantage here off of a damage call out, but unfortunately he's bit off more than he can chew. He's got to back up, but the confidence allows him to go right back in. The timing might be there. Formal goes down, and now FaZe with the camo in hand if they can take out Lucid.
Renegade steals that camouflage. It looks like he's trying to make it over toward the safety of the tower side of the map to stay alive, and he's able to stay alive. And now Disruptor, BR, and a camouflage in the hand. The first backsmack for Renegade right in the mid-map. That's going to draw the attention out for OpTic Gaming. 2 members from the tower side looking within, 2 members from the gold side the same, and the rest of FaZe are just picking up those kills. Once again, OpTic find himself 3 down, make it for a full squad wipe, and a 7-kill lead for FaZe. 10 kills away from taking this game and the series. Can FaZe pull off the 4-1?
A beautiful play right there by Renegade, working around side Snakebite to make sure to get those kills on the tower. Perfectly timed right there. Is going to give them control now of this top pipe area, along with World 2 with a shock rifle. All of OpTic Gaming trapped today, and FaZe, they smell blood in the water.
And with OpTic trapped, you're seeing the collapse start to go in. They inch forward, damage by damage, inch by inch. OpTic are being trapped over here towards the back end, but looks like Lucid answers back by taping down Renegade. Renegade able to trade out his kill. Snakebite going after Formal, and the final player of APG is going to be wiped back to a double-digit lead. Trippy chasing all the way toward the mid-map. That's going to be nothing. Lucid getting absolutely obliterated from across the map by World 2, and just like that, 46 make it 47. Only 3 more kills needed. Trippy answers by taking World 2 out, but the damage clearly has been done. FaZe are looking to end this game, end this series, and move on to yet another best of 7 right now.
FaZe looking extremely strong, and there it is. The grand finals reset has been initiated. FaZe 4-1 versus OpTic Gaming. And now, this next best of 7 decides it all for these 2 squads. Who will come out on top?
OpTic Gaming showed how dominant they could be. OpTic Gaming 3-0 this very FaZe roster over in the winners bracket finals, and I'm not gonna lie, after that performance, I wouldn't have been surprised if OpTic took it 4-1 themselves, but FaZe, they never have two bad series in a row, right? They always come back, and with a different type of energy, coming this time out of the elimination bracket, coming with more to prove than FaZe. They looked so dominant. They just had control that entire time. I would say 90% of the time, this series belonged to FaZe. The series score reflects it. The eyeball test reflected. It doesn't matter. FaZe come out with the 4-1. Let's reset the whole thing. You know what? We didn't see any of the new maps in the first series, so why don't we throw them as game number 1 and game number 2? Let's start off on Argyle. Let's follow it up with Empyrean. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you didn't have any plans. We have a long night on our hands.
Yes, we do. We've seen this story before, though. You can't count OpTic Gaming out at this point in time. I will say that this Grand Finals reset did start very quickly, but I also will say we saw this at the HCS World Championship last year to end Season 1. Cloud9, they came through. Cloud9 at the time, SSG now came through with the 4-0. But OpTic Gaming came back with an answer. Will they do a little bit of the same right now is the question. Formal on your screen with a snipe in hand.
One thing we said that Halo Infinite was missing was some of those classic sniper on sniper battles, so both Argyle and Empyrean having two snipers, one in the hands of World 2, and I believe Formal has the sniper here for OpTic Gaming. He sees Lucid trying to be sneaky over towards the psychic side. He's gonna be dealt with, but where did that nade come from? World 2 ends up going down, and now there's only one sniper in the hands of Formal. Hopefully somebody on FaZe was able to clean that sniper up. Formal looking for an angle here. A minute on the clock and barely any action.
That sniper is going to play a big factor there, so we have to see if someone on FaZe did get their hands on that. But 2 down right now for FaZe. OpTic, they smell an advantage. They're going to push up just a bit here on the map. They've got to reslay, but they're trying to gain space. And it's up to Formal to be the leader in that, but look at the bait and switch on a FaZe. Wow. They get 2 down.
FaZe having no problem dedicating numbers. In fact, dedicating 3 members onto that one angle and overwhelming OpTic. Even Renegade gets the trade out on this kill, but no pull just yet for FaZe Clan. Snakebite, 1 sniper in hand, pinging that sniper for the next one. He has 4 bullets. He doesn't want to be greedy.
That Snakebite right there. 2 snipes on the map is better than 1. You get multiple angles. So intelligent by him. Continues to ping it there. No one really in position to grab that. Unfortunately, though, Renegade ends up wanting to get that snipe. Goes a little bit out of position. Because of that, he dies. And now Snakebite's got a problem as well. But he wastes the sniper before going down. So no snipe in the hands of OpTic.
And you know, Snakebite, you know, pinging that sniper, pinging that angle that he knew that OpTic Game were to come from, and the help really slow to come in. I wonder if it's just a spawn thing, you know, a positional thing, but that's gonna work in favor of OpTic Gaming. OpTic just pushed right through, snatch up that flag with the quickness, and looks like the grapple's gonna come into play as well, because that flag was set up perfectly over towards the mid side. Lucid says, get over here, and ends up putting that flag all the way towards the base, and even able to stay alive, punches that in. The grapple so important here on Argyle, and ladies and gentlemen, you're seeing exactly why.
Yeah, Lucid was one shot putting that flag in, but he gets it in anyway. And someone who's having a phenomenal match thus far is going to be APG. A beautiful snipe right there. He's got full control of his side. They're going to play a little bit of defense. They've got to get the slays. They get 3 down for FaZe. Renegade going to go down as well. And now staggered spawns. World 2 and Snakebite all alone in their base.
Trippy and Lucid deciding to push up toward the long haul side. You're seeing World 2 and Snakebite on the opposing side here. Formal right into running into 2 players. Trippy is the first one to go down, so the double push by Lucid and Trippy not gonna work out. FaZe take advantage of that numbers every single time. Renegade decides to push up. Snakebite gonna do the same. They're controlling both sides of the map here. APG loses first shot onto Renegade, loses his height advantage as well. FaZe having every advantage on the map, whether it's resource, whether it's map control, and soon to be a flagpole by FaZe.
And that's crazy, right? They have every advantage. They've done a really good job of controlling everything, but still down one cap just due to that grapple. And you talked about it, the grapple being such an important part of this game. This camo, though, very important as well. Renegade overextends his welcome, but does not go down. They're not able to take him out. And so that's a full camo for Renegade, 2 down for OpTic, make that 3. And FaZe looking to push in to grab a flag here.
Oh, beautiful shot by Lucid, the second one to follow it through. And you saw Renegade trying to make a play with the grapple, and Lucid anticipated it well. Make sure that he finished off that kill, and that grapple and Renegade slowly falling off the map. Sniper rifle still in the hands of Lucid. He's going to work immediately. Forget creating space. Lucid looking to dominate here with the S7.
Lucid is an MVP for a reason, or the MVP of Season 1 for a reason. He's looking to showcase that here, but Renegade, that's a big momentum shift. He gets the sniper out of Lucid's hands. They get 3 down. FaZe looking to pull the flag. The spawns come out on the back. Trippy, the only player in position to potentially put damage in. They get the kills once again. That's the second time now FaZe has been in position to pull this flag through, but OpTic has stopped them.
World 2 saw the sniper shots coming out of Lucid right here, said, don't forget that I do this too. Chef World 2, the way he's looking to cook and fry OpTic Gaming. 2 in front of him, body shot connects, but the sticky goes right back in from Lucid. So somehow both Lucid and Trippy gonna stay alive within that engagement. Snakebite wanted to get at least one cleanup. Instead, he has nothing to do but to push straight forward, gain some sniper control, and now wants to turn this into a flank. Lucid trying to sniff out Snakebite. Now knows exactly where he's pushing in. Lucid now on the chase. Snakebite just slippering and slithering his way out.
Yeah, but look what it does to Lucid. It makes him have to search for him. And because of that, Lucid a little bit out of position, not able to put any damage in across the map. And with that camo coming up, Lucid being at the bottom of base is not good for OpTic. That could be another camo in the hands of FaZe.
In the same way the Snakebite was in that base, it looks like Frosty doing the same exact thing, but Lucid with the body shot will slow him down. One MVP versus another World 2. Was it bought enough time to push up? Renegade with that invis. 3 down for OpTic Gaming. FaZe might have been down 0-1 in the early game. You might have caught him in the first half, but here in the second, Trippy having to make a play here over towards the back base, but you have multiple members of FaZe just trapping him in that corner. And eventually Snakebite punches that flag in. Trippy ends up going down, almost seemingly coming out of nowhere. Could we see a counter cap opportunity?
Yeah, that was beautiful by Trippy. He stays alive. He gets a kill on the back of base. And look at this, setting up for that counter cap. He gets the damage necessary. And now OpTic looking to push, but 3 down for OpTic. FaZe gonna nip that right in the butt.
Flag returned.
The butt or the butt?
Bud.
Oh, okay. Now making sure. I know where you're going there. Well, right now, OpTic we're kicking butt, but FaZe coming right back at him, tying up in one apiece. Trippy advancing forward with that sniper rifle, connects onto one, taking down Renegade. It looks like Snakebite was able to stay alive, but you see APG and FOMO addressing it so quickly and pushing together, pushing in tandem. The bait and switch gonna work out for OpTic Gaming.
Jeez.
Until the 3 down happens. FaZe end up putting them 4 down. What I thought was working out well was actually working right into the plans of FaZe.
Now with that, FaZe are going to be able to create space once again. 1-1 the score right now. For those of you that don't know, we are in the grand finals reset. FaZe 4-1 versus OpTic in the previous grand final. Because FaZe came from the losers bracket, we are now in the reset. Renegade, another camo once again for Renegade. And this has been one of the biggest factors for me, is the fact that FaZe have been able to control not only just in this game, but every single game in this series and the previous grand finals, controlling the resources on the map. They've done such a good job with that.
Sniper rifle in the hands of Lucid here. It's like Trippy's already that forward-facing player. Formal wants to catch up, but with APG going down, Trippy getting traded out, and then Formal being taken down all within what seemed like seconds of another, Lucid comes off a spawn, and then like, oh, all my friends are dead. He doesn't know what to do here. And now the rest of OpTic Gaming spawning over towards the snipe side, but Frosty taking some back shots onto the sidekick side, not expecting that eventually. Frosty goes down. Looks like a split spawn is what ended up happening, and that's going to be troublesome for FaZe.
Yeah, that split spawn happened due to the pressure that was coming into that snipe spawn because all the nades and all the damage went through. Split spawns happened on that sidekick side. OpTic are going to go one down here, but Formal with the snipe now. And that's one of the things about this map, right? You've got to create that space, but you've got to slay so many times just to get that one flag cap in. We're starting to see how evenly matched these teams really are with 2 minutes remaining. FaZe looking to answer back, though. They've got 2 down, make that 3 on the board. APG, the last player alive, and he's on the elbow.
But it's always FaZe that are aggressing forward, always FaZe that are on the offense, and although the green wall stands tall, that defense of OpTic Gaming works out so well. It feels like it's almost a bend but don't break strategy. How long would that defense hold on for? Eventually, so FaZe find the weakness, find the crack within that wall, and now pushing that flag forward here. FaZe putting that flag in a baitable position. World 2 taking down Lucid. Frosty going right after APG. Trippy might have been able to get away with that camouflage, but he has to clutch up with it, and instead we find out that Trippy has hands, but catching that football that he didn't want to. FaZe are gonna push forward here. This might end up being a 2-1 lead. I don't see any members of OpTic Gaming in position to stop FaZe from punching this one forward. 2-1 FaZe.
The game-deciding stick from the man himself, Frosty, right there, hitting that clutch stick on the camo player. I was just gonna talk about the fact that OpTic Gaming got their first camo on the board for this map. They get shut down instantly by the man himself, Frosty. With World 2 having this sniper rifle now, and with FaZe in the lead with a minute remaining, this looks very tough for OpTic.
And like many times we've seen so far, OpTic on their back foot once again. You have a minute to put a capture in on Argyle, which by the way is the hardest map to capture on. And now all of FaZe are just locked in. They know that you have to beeline it towards the flag, so they're watching every angle. Lucid making a very sneaky play here, but it's FaZe that are sniffing them out. They have to headbutt through. Lucid is able to take down 2. Snakebite ends up getting body shotted by Formal to slow him down, but Snakebite doubles right back in, takes down 1. FaZe end up taking down 2. Renegade gets a double kill, and where did that flag go?
Once again, Renegade being the player that you have to account for. OpTic Gaming not accounting for him as well as they should be. They didn't see him on the map. He was performing a flank once again, and that flank is going to shut that pull down immediately. And he's continually doing damage to this OpTic roster, a thorn in their side as they go 3 down.
5 seconds left. Formal is able to start the flag off, but it looks like Renegade gonna give up his life just to do enough damage for Snakebite to come in with the cleanup, and now they're 1 return away from ending it right here. Snakebite put in the icing on the cake there, and just like that, FaZe picking up exactly where they left off in the first series of that grand finals. They're going up 1-0.
A very convincing 1-0. You said it yourself, Tony. They were on the aggression the entire game, really showcasing the confidence in their roster. OpTic Gaming just got tore apart brick by brick, and honestly, they have to answer back right now. This is a massive momentum swing, especially going into this grand finals reset, where FaZe is now continuing to snowball this. I think one of the big factors for me has got to be that power-up control. Every single map we've watched, the power-up has not been, it has not been in the hands of OpTic, and FaZe have just done a really good job of controlling it the entire series, last series and this one now.
And what's so crazy to me is that, like, I'm liking the way OpTic are playing. Like there's plays that are happening where OpTic are figuring it out. I mean, they started off with the first cap of the game. They started off with that early control, and then even when they had to, we saw some clutch plays being made. But every single time, FaZe have an answer for their pushes. When OpTic go hard, somehow FaZe go even harder to respond right back in, and it must be so tough if you're on the side of OpTic Gaming where nothing seemingly is going your way besides that one game that happened back in the old series. Man, OpTic gonna have a tough road ahead of them, but if anybody can do it, it's OpTic Gaming.
Yeah, it just takes one play. We saw that play from Trippy, I believe it was on Live Fire the previous series, and it takes one play from one player. It takes one player popping off to really rally the team together. We'll see if that answer can be had here for OpTic. They've got Empyrean Slayer coming up next for game number 2.
We're seeing some of the replays on screen, and with 2 sniper rifles on the map, there's plenty of replays across the board. We saw World 2 making play with a sniper. We even saw Snakebite going off with the sniper as well. And then on the opposite side, I think Lucid had a turn. Trippy had it for a bit. We saw Formal with it in his hands most of the time here, and even APG shot. Boom! Sorry, buddy.
Later.
Eventually, that's still not enough, and now going into this resource control, you know, you go to Empyrean. Empyrean has 2 snipers on the map, but a lot more to control, right? You have rockets. You got what do you got? You got a little bit of that needler action, a little bit of ARs, a little bit of overshield. Like, I feel like every single weapon that's on the map here in Halo Infinite is like really being displayed on a map like Empyrean. By the way, I love that play by Lucid. I was waiting for that one.
yeah, Lucid popped off really well there in that game number 1. Like you saw right here, he's 10-5. But just to go off of your point, yeah, I feel like there's a lot of weapons in the sandbox that have a higher kill time, or I'm sorry, a faster kill time than the battle rifle, and utilizing those to just get those 1 or 2 kills that open up everything on the map can be really just the deciding factor. Oh my goodness, that stick was just so incredible. We're talking about the camo player Trippy. He's coming in, he's got 4 clean shots onto Frosty. Frosty just turns around, and absolutely beautiful out of him, right? Under pressure, throws the stick right at his face. Just incredible play there by Frosty.
And that's what I'm talking about. Like, again, there are plays being made by OpTic. You know, Lucid getting that double kill onto Renegade when he was trying to make a play with that grapple. You know, Trippy grabbing that camouflage at a critical time in the game, and somehow FaZe are able to answer back, able to weather the storm every single time. And now the question becomes is, can OpTic wake up here on Empyrean? Does Empyrean even play towards their play style? Like, I feel like FaZe should have the advantage here on this map, but I guess we'll find out here. Take a look at those sniper rifles. This map is run through them, but don't forget about that overshield. Don't forget about that rockets, and don't get caught in a spawn trap, Tim. I know you've been on both the giving and the receiving end of a spawn trap here on Empyrean.
Yeah, the spawn trap is what makes Empyrean Slayer so very difficult. One little mistake, one misstep, and you can find yourself in that shoddy side, just fighting for your life. You know, you said the FaZe had an advantage here. Well, according to my stats man, Mr. Snow, they do. FaZe wins 74% of game number 2s, whereas OpTic only wins 65% of game number 2s. But I will say that both of them are even in Empyrean Slayer. They're 2-2 versus each other. So if you want a close matchup, this is the one to watch.
Yeah, so when I did say that, I felt like FaZe had an advantage. I feel like I like FaZe's like game style on this map, where like I feel like OpTic has been a little bit more defensive so far in this series, and FaZe have been the aggressor. So like when that spawn trap happens, that's where I'm like really afraid for. And APG's trying to give him the respect crouches. I'm a friendly. Don't shoot. Sorry, that ain't gonna work. Renegade, no mercy up in here.
Friendly. FaZe trying to go for that setup here on the tower, but OpTic does a really good job of defending. You saw, I believe it was Renegade on that courtyard side. He did have the presence of mind to try and get that top tower control. The minute a team gets top tower control is when that spawn trap can initiate, but FaZe with an 8-4 lead, playing very comfortable so far.
FaZe not wanting to overextend, want to make sure that they have that advantage, and with that sniper in the hands of Snakebite and Frosty, no wonder they pulled back and put it to work immediately. Snakebite dealing with 2 and even taking Trippy down to 1 shot. So I can only imagine it's only a matter of time before FaZe run in and clean up those kills. What started off as an early lead, a small one, turns into 11-6, turns into Frosty headbutting Lucid with that sniper rifle. Now looking to go right into the face of Trippy right there, and that's gonna work. A 13-7 lead once again gets out of control just a bit. FaZe dominating here in the early game.
We gotta talk about the big brain of this guy, okay? He goes into sword. You always gotta worry about that repulse when you're top level sword like this. He baits out the repulsor with his shoulder, then pushes into the aggression. He's one of the best players in the game, and it's plays like that that make that happen.
And both Overshield and Rockets coming up right now. Frosty making sure he controls that sword side. You're seeing Snakebite and Raw 2 addressing the green side of the map, and they already get that first kill to open things up for the Rockets here. 5 more seconds. Frosty making sure that no one on OpTic Gaming is able to push through the sword. Even baiting out this overshield for anybody that could be manning the low ground, wants to make sure he does not commit at a false time. But Lucid and Trippy getting back-to-back kills. Foremost steals away those rockets. Trippy just inches a bit forward to play for the overshield, and Frosty is holding on to the high ground.
And Frosty's on an advantage right now too. He can go down and fight for this, but he can also get the triple kill. Oh my word! 3 down for OpTic Gaming. Frosty dismantling the wall all by himself.
They were 3 down. Tim, they were 3 down right there as Lucid, I believe, tried to play that sniper off the map. Did Snakebite catch it? Like, I swear I saw that map falling off, and I feel like Snakebite just like caught it.
Yeah, he did.
That is crazy. 21-14 lead. And again, when OpTic put FaZe 3 down, they get the rockets. Frosty is by himself. There's no way that he makes a play to take down 2 while baiting the overshield and even putting the final one that was over toward the overshield side 1 shot. Like, there's no way plays like that happen, but somehow they do time and time again. It's a large reason why FaZe were able to win that first series, and a large reason why they're up 1-0, looking to go up 2-0 here in the grand finals.
Pace of game has slowed. Snakebite has the snipe in hand. You saw Renegade being very aggressive there, trying to create that opening, you know, like to call him an entry fragger, but he doesn't get any frags on the board from that entry. Unfortunately, all of OpTic are still alive, fortunately for them, but like I said, it will continue to slow until that first pick happens. Renegade, entry fragger does all that damage. Look at that, 2 down now for OpTic, and you're gonna see FaZe push in aggressively. All 4 dead just like that.
Allowing Lucid and Formal to spawn up over toward the courtyard side. It looks like they're going to try to break through. Snakebite, denial grenades out, making sure that there is no exit for OpTic. Already hitting the body shot, immediately swaps out for the heat wave and pins him against the wall long enough for Renegade to clean him out. Another overshield and rockets coming up. It was OpTic that had the advantage over towards the rocket side. Something tells me though, if rockets are accumulated by OpTic and they gain that advantage, I can only imagine they actually do a lot more with it this time. I think FaZe needs to win out at least 1, if not both, of these power weapons. Renegade understands that, drops the drop water, get the boom block. Somebody check that man's PC. Somebody check his thumbs, his gaming chair, something. There is no way he just dropped a perfect drop wall for the boom block. I don't even believe what I just saw.
I don't know what I'm seeing right now. This is, if we get this for the rest of the season, we are blessed as Halo fans. This is some incredible gameplay out of both of these rosters, but OpTic Gaming have to answer back here. 23-31, they're looking for that answer, but it's gonna come off that first kill from Frosty. Can they push this advantage is the question. And right now it looks like the aggression's not coming out. FaZe is gonna have time to spawn up and get map positioning once again.
Looks like Trippy looking for the blind side here, gets repulsed right back, and once again, Snakebite making a play with the repulse, this time on Trippy. Every time OpTic make a play, FaZe have an answer. It's a double-digit lead. Formal looking to retreat right back to his side on the sword side, making sure that nobody's sneaking through, but all of FaZe just need one pick. With that one pick comes that numbers advantage, comes that aggression. They come in, they come out, and they just have an innate way of just staying alive and putting down as much damage as possible, does FaZe.
34-24. FaZe with a commanding lead. World 2 gonna get pinched right there. OpTic, you see right there the play that was just made is what needs to happen for this OpTic roster. They've got to pick apart the offense of FaZe. They've got to be able to respond to it. But FaZe's offense just becomes too strong. I mean, Snakebite once again, another kill on the board, 36-25, an 11 kill lead. The largest lead we've seen in this game is now 12, and now they've got top tower control. They've got to be careful here.
Sniper rifle in the hands of Frosty at the moment. Both Formal and Lucid in his line of sight over towards one side of the map. You have Trippy and APG getting dominated on the other as another sniper rifle ends up into the dome of OpTic Gaming members. Rockets are coming up. Lucid gonna push right through it. It looks like World 2 able to take down Trippy. Snakebite goes right after Formal. Lucid thought he had the rockets, but not for long. OpTic Gaming end up getting wiped, and now they're in danger of getting staked right now. Frosty comes in with the rockets, goes right at Formal. Trippy goes up, and what goes up must go down. 46 kills and counting. One squad wipe away. The third one comes in. This is bad. OpTic Gaming are getting punished.
And like you said before, it's not like OpTic Gaming is you know, playing any differently. I feel like, you know, maybe a little bit less disciplined than normal. You see Trippy kind of holding forward there, but it just fades. They're just on another level right now. They flipped the switch and 2 kills left, and they will win game number 2. There it is. The Steaktacular comes out. FaZe come through 2-0 in the grand finals reset. The first one. 4-1 convincing win in that first grand finals, and now we enter into a 2-0 scenario. I mean, this is looking extremely different than I'm no longer getting Charlotte vibes out of this tournament thus far. I know we're online, but you know, I would even call FaZe the weaker online team in my opinion, and they're just putting on a clinic. They're playing on a different level right now, Tony.
Chat, how do you like your steak?
Why did you ask me?
I need to know right now, chat. Tim, how do you like your steak? I want to know everybody. How do you like it? Louis, how do you like your steak?
Medium rare, please.
Okay.
Look at that.
I'm hearing medium rares across the board. Okay. And any kind of toppings with like a little garlic herb butter? Do you like a little A1 steak sauce? You like? Tim, I bet you put ketchup on your steak. You sick freak. Oh
yes.
God.
Yep. And I love ketchup on my steak. It's my favorite thing in the world. You never tried it. Don't knock it till you try it, Tony.
I just knew it. Even my dog is pissed off. Once she heard that, she started going off. I just knew it.
Oh man. Here we go. Game number 3, grand finals reset. While Tony's sitting there in awe, we're gonna get right into this. FaZe not stopping for anything right now, continuing on the momentum. King of the Hill, live fire, of course, and they're already a quarter through the way of that very first hill. They've got full control here. I'm not sure who did pick up that overshield, but Lucid does get that initial kill, and because of that, Formal's gonna play aggressively off this and try to make the break happen.
Sniper rifle and overshield in the hands of Lucid. We said that OpTic Gaming need an answer. We've said it time and time again, and so far they have not found one. Early progression over towards hill though for OpTic Gaming. Overshield and sniper rifle. If you're gaining resources like this, Tim, I feel like it's only a matter of time before you get the lead. It's only a matter of time before you steal a game or two. And looks like Frosty steal that sniper rifle right back.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? OpTic have had the resources for a duration, if you want to call it that, but FaZe have just been able to, you know, spot out those players, isolate those players, and take the resources back. And Frosty's just not missing a shot. One of the things that I talked about with this FaZe roster, and you know, I might sound biased. I love both squads, of course, but one of the things that makes FaZe scary is just due to the fact that they've got Frosty, Renegade, and World 2-3 powerhouse slayers, and then the intelligent, you know, back player in Snakebite. And then when all of them are popping off like they have in, you know, that first grand finals and how they're doing in this reset, when all of them are playing well, it's just an unstoppable force. All it takes from OpTic is just, like I said before, one player, you know, building off of that momentum, off that one player, and snowballing that into a couple of wins. It's going to be difficult, but, you know, something has to happen here very quickly.
Well, OpTic Gaming do start off hot, and that's exactly what we want to see so far. FaZe have been able to control the tempo time and time again, especially in the early game. The problem is that Renegade coming right in, gets himself the triple, turns it into an overkill, about to turn Lucid into a kill tag. Oh, even switched to the Plaza Pistol, said, I'm going to get this kill by any means possible. And overkill by Renegade, not quite the kill tag.
Beautiful. In the grand finals, we get one, an overkill, but Formal gonna answer right back. He gets a perfect, trying to go for that top tower control, but again, FaZe is there. They've got each other's back. That's the thing. That's one of the big things here. Always getting pushed, but they find a way to stay alive. They find a way to stop these pushes from happening. Finally, OpTic get a little bit of a setup. The snipe is coming up, so that will be a point of contention. And look at Formal. This is what you like to see. Formal playing that flank role. He comes off a spawn. They get a couple of kills here. 2 down for FaZe. OpTic Gaming looking to take this second hill too.
Formal doing everything he can to stay alive over toward the green side. Finds the pickup kill onto World 2, but there was a new challenger in Frosty, and somehow Formal able to take down both of them. Make it 3, a triple kill out of Formal. The man was one shot fighting for his life and somehow turns it into a triple kill. I guess that's why he's Controller Player of the Year nominee in 2022.
Absolutely, you know, beautiful by OpTic. It talked about it. I said it right at the start of the game. Look at Formal right now, 10-2, and they've gone off of this momentum, and they've all kind of come together, and now they've got a 2-cap lead on Livefire, the King of the Hill. If they can get this overshield, potentially this goes to a 3-cap lead, and you gotta say, when OpTic is starting to, you know, they're starting to feel it, I truly do think that they can take that momentum and bring this series back, but it's gonna have to start with this first game.
2-0 for OpTic Gaming, but Renegade is able to get another overshield here. That's gonna put OpTic 3 down. You have multiple members of FaZe set up early on the A side. Lucid lining up that headshot. That could have been a big one to start the break here for OpTic, but right to the commando. They're gonna have to do it with the old trusty BRs, and looks like that break is not gonna happen. FaZe on the board, but down 1-2.
I talked about Formal having a good game. Look at Lucid right now, 10-2 as well. So 2 players of OpTic having phenomenal performances, but all the while, Tony, FaZe just put on their first cap of the game. So, I mean, we talk about all the time, KD doesn't matter, and essentially it just seems like the kills that are being had are just, they're not able to turn it into any objective efficiency.
3 minutes, 27 seconds on the clock. OpTic Gaming right over towards the mid. Formal challenging Renegade, but not knowing that Renegade having that heat wave beautifully played, and now the pings are in. Trippy getting weak. Renegade gets the finish on him. Lucid coming into play. Looks like APG is as well, but while all this happens, FaZe getting a lot of time in this hill, looking to tie things up.
Renegade pushing on the flank side here. His first target is APG. That's the player he has to get off a tower. I like that route right there, going towards the front side. APG's gonna scurry away though, and he's got help and assistance from this nest. So great job by Renegade realizing that, tries to get away, but a beautiful pinch here from OpTic Gaming. And with that 1 kill, they should be able to secure this overshield.
APG taking down World 2. Trippy goes in early for that challenge, and overshield about to be up, and looks like APG is in prime position to steal it away. FaZe just a split second away from taking that hill, but it's gonna be really tough. The green wall is built up.
Yeah, but Formal does go down, so if Lucid goes down here, potentially FaZe can get control, but they go 3 down momentarily. Now 2 dead, roll 2, trying to stay alive. And even though FaZe only need 1 tick, It looks like OpTic Gaming. Wow. The wall is too strong. It's built different, it seems like. 3-1 to lead. OpTic starting to show a little bit of life right now in this grand finals reset.
OpTic 1 hill away from taking this game. FaZe do have the tower side control, though. They did momentarily have OpTic 3 down, and you do have World 2 with the sniper rifle in hand, so FaZe having a great advantage over toward the mid map, even dropping that shroud to make sure that nobody in OpTic Gaming is gonna have any line of sight over towards the mid, but the shroud runs out. World 2 set up, can't quite find the headshot, gets de-scoped at the wrong time.
Statistics show that Lucid on the side of OpTic likes to play King of the Hill fast. He gets 1.9 kills per minute, ranked first, but World 2 has an answer for that statistic. Gets a beautiful double, continues to control this top tower, and top mid being one of the most difficult hills, it's getting capped extremely quickly by this FaZe roster.
Yeah, FaZe got into the early setup and haven't let go whatsoever, Tim. I'm loving every moment of it, and by the time OpTic Gaming get in position, it is too little too late. But A-side control here for OpTic, and that's exactly, it looks like, what they want in order to steal away this green hill, green side hill. FaZe going out. OpTic set up early. World 2 moving over towards the bridge.
For those of you just joining us, this is the Grand Finals reset. This is a best of 7, so FaZe need to win this one and one more if they want to win the entire tournament. Obviously, OpTic on their back foot with 0. They've got a lead here in this King of the Hill game, and 25% through this B hill. Look at FaZe. They've got an answer back now with this overshield. They're going to look to take control with that. 2 go down, make that 1 momentarily. Luce is going to get that respawn. Formal does a really good job of putting a lot of damage into Frosty. The OS is non-existent now. Because of that, he takes a lot of damage, but still stays alive.
Yeah, I love the damage that Form was able to put in, but I mean, it's still FaZe that get the kills that are necessary. It's still FaZe that are in that green side hill, and it's still Frosty that's alive on the C side. It finds the back of APG, and now going right back to work. His teammates do end up going down, so that'll slow FaZe a little bit, but lead is here, and they just need one more kill to get aggressive.
Great job by APG right there to come off a spawn and push Frosty back, but the repulse cuts the angle. And because of that, he stays alive. 2 go down for OpTic. FaZe are going to look to push Trippy here. He's the last player alive, and he will go down as well. And now Frosty on the aggression on the spawns.
OpTic 1 ended right here, right now. Looks like they have one more push, if that. And with FaZe getting the 2 down necessary, I'm not sure OpTic have the numbers in order to play for this. It looks like they're going to retreat over toward the Charlie side, and we're tied up here at 3 apiece. Renegade with that sniper rifle in hands. OpTic may be set up, but just because you're set up doesn't mean you can't get knocked down.
Yeah, but it was a smart play by OpTic to kind of toss that hill. We're now tied at 3. 2 minutes and 25 seconds remaining. They don't get the kill onto Renegade, and with this overshield, Renegade having snipe might not be too easy to grab that OS, but great job by Trippy to push Renegade back. But he still comes back up. He still gets the snipe. He wants another one. And he gets it. World 2 is going to clean that one up. He pushes aggressively. Another kill on the board. That's 2 down for OpTic Gaming. Make that 3. The last player alive is APG. Does not take him out. APG gets a massive double to make FaZe 3 down now and grabs the overshield.
Good God, Renegade was making plays with the sniper rifle, but somehow it was not enough. OpTic clear it out, still end up with that overshield, and look at all that progression that they were able to get over towards what will be this final hill in the game. Trippy still getting kills. Lucid trades out his life here, and APG has barely taken any damage with this overshield. FaZe needs to get OpTic out of the hill. Finally, the push is coming. Nades are able to get them out for just a moment, but they need clean kills, does FaZe.
But they're not going to get them. 2 down now for FaZe. Royal 2's trying to stay alive. APG's going to go down. That's a massive kill by Royal 2. He comes out with the pistol. Not going to be able to get the cleanup, but Renegade has the damage. It's not enough. 3 down for FaZe. OpTic Gaming are going to look to close this out.
Kill.
And it's Lucid who's putting in the damage and checking the angles. OpTic Gaming put one on the board.
Just because you're down by 2 doesn't mean you're out of it, especially in a best of 7 series. OpTic Gaming understand what's on the line here. This is your grand finals, baby. It's do or die. FaZe were the ones who were able to reset the bracket in the first series. OpTic with the answer back here in game number 3, but you're still down by 1. You still got to make things happen. Recharge Strongholds is game 4.
Recharge Strongholds. OpTic finally showing some life, but can they continue that on to this game number 4? They still need, obviously, 2 wins here. It's a best of 7. Answer back is exactly what OpTic needed in this game, but it didn't look easy for them, Tony. It looked like FaZe were still in control for most of that game. It's just that OpTic was able to make a couple of massive plays that turned the tide, and one of them, of course, being that double kill by APG towards the end there. Oral 2 just playing phenomenal this entire series and continues to do so.
OpTic Gaming needed that win, and I'm actually happy that it was a really close one like it was, because I feel like not only did OpTic show their ability to hold on to a lead, but then towards the end they showed the ability to close it out, to clutch things out when they needed to most. And as of right now, OpTic still need to clutch it. You're still down by 1 game. FaZe have controlled this grand finals. They 4-1'd you before forcing this bracket reset. OpTic needs to dig deep, and I think that's exactly what they're gonna do here.
Double kill.
Snakebite, stop it. Oh my gosh.
He's gonna go more. He wants more. He gets another one onto APG. 2 down. One of the kills he got did already spawn, but that's gonna get them that A plot. Trippy with the first camo of the game, and that's a good sign as well. OpTic Gaming controlling these power-ups.
OpTic take control early. BC setup coming in despite the fact that Snakebite was really going off towards the early game. Trippy goes right after Renegade. Don't want to allow that man to get off, and Snakebite feeling comfortable enough to dive right over towards the Bravo side, and the long range shots from APG gonna put him right back on the black screen. APG immediately going towards tower. We're seeing multiple members of FaZe come up. We're about to be in a 4v4 scenario soon, but Lucid still coming off a spawn.
See how dangerous this disruptor can be, especially on strongholds. Being able to stop caps. So much damage being utilized there. 1 down for each squad now. It's these next couple kills that matter the most. FaZe go 2 down. OpTic looking for potentially control of A here, and they're gonna get it. As long as they get this 1 more kill, and they do just that. APG starting to pop off, having a little bit of a rough series, but starting this game 5-1.
Love that play by Formal, though, to put down all that damage to allow APG to just get those cleanups, and now APG does end up going down, but here comes the MVP. A side cleared right up. He's gonna play right forward, and somehow Formal and APG are still in position to play towards Alpha, so double cap comes in, camouflage in the hands of Formal, ends up getting the back smack onto Frosty, and FaZe are diving in players over towards the mid to make sure Formal went down.
I just love to see the fact that OpTic Gaming is now taking control of these power-ups like I mentioned before. This is going to be a deciding factor. FaZe still do have the lead here. Trippy not gonna win that fight, but APG does get the clean up. 1 down for each side. World 2 playing the best position, a position that he's very strong at, but he gets taken out as the bait and switch happens, and OpTic starting to look like more of a team than we saw in the first series, and from what we saw in this start of this series.
3 members of FaZe spawning up over toward the A side. Formal having a great angle to cut off that tower side, but wasn't able to get the kill, and FaZe follow up right through it, putting OpTic 2 down immediately. Trippy having to make a play onto Bravo, can't quite connect with it. I believe the reset happened for just a moment, but Renegade still in there looking to steal it away. Double cap back in favor of FaZe, who already had that small lead.
Yeah, and you know, they had that lead with no camo, so we'll see what happens with this next one. We'll pay attention to make sure we find out who does get this next camo on the board. OpTic Gaming starting to play together just a bit more here. Chemistry, one of the big factors that makes OpTic such an incredible team right there. Great job once again by Trippy to play his life. They get 2 down for FaZe. Now only 1 dead. They hold this 2 cap advantage once again. A and C on the board, and look, they're looking to take this lead as well.
Frosty is able to get away with the shock rifle alive, but there's multiple members of OpTic that are pushing through. Trippy breaks through the gold side. Shock rifle in the hands of Trippy, but he's not going to sit back. He's going to get right into the action. He knows that active camouflage is coming up. FaZe spawning over towards the advantageous Charlie side. Still stolen by Trippy. Then 180 turns onto Frosty. Trippy had that dog in him right there, but not able to stay alive. Can OpTic hold on to the double cap despite Trippy going down?
Yeah, one of the big things I'm noticing here as they do try to hold on to that double cap is the fact that FaZe is starting to lose 1v1s versus OpTic, and that's not the story we saw in the previous series or at the start of this one. So OpTic Gaming looking a little more confident in this game number 4. Can they continue with that confidence though, in that momentum? And it looks like Lucid looking to do just that.
OpTic just adding on to the lead right now through this double cap that's been set up. FaZe looking for that perimeter player, looking for that early control. Looks like Renegade finds that second kill. World 2 not knowing that Trippy's there, but still ends up getting the reversal kill. Trippy goes down. Formal tries to follow through with it, but somehow FaZe are spawning right back up and get numbers immediately. Now you see them working on Bravo while also taking A at the same time. OpTic are forced to rotate over toward the alpha side of the map, but it's FaZe that still end up with the double cap.
Yeah, and even though Snakebite took as much damage as he did, he still gets the kill onto Trippy there on that Trippy box. And because of that, they maintain A and B control, and it's up to APG at this point to take that player off the top glass. It's going to be Snakebite. That's the point of contention. They've got to take him off the top glass so they can push up. Trippy's going to assist on that one, but World 2 comes in, gets the kill. 2 down for OpTic, but they trade out the other 2. One more kill for OpTic here, and they could potentially get B.
FaZe are losing numbers, but still able to answer back. That's a huge kill by Snakebite to slow OpTic down. If Snakebite doesn't get that kill, OpTic slide right into Bravo. Because of that, OpTic end up having to fight hard for the camo. Not getting Bravo at all. FaZe are closing the distance on them quickly. Snakebite going off with the shock rifle. We haven't seen Snakebite with the shock rifle just yet. I'm excited to see that. The battle rifle doing enough damage in. Lucid trying to cross early. Snakebite trying to stop that from happening. Forced to grapple right out. So I would believe that OpTic are pushing right in over towards A, and FaZe still having to collapse.
Oh my goodness, look at the rotation from Snakebite right here to assist his teammates. That's a perfectly timed rotation with a grapple. He stays alive, his team stays alive as well. They're trying to fight out here, but Lucid gets a massive kill, and he gets another one as well. 2 down for FaZe. And because of that, OpTic will answer back with this AB setup.
Snakebite over toward the long haul side here. Trippy and Lucid trying to gain angles, and Lucid is able to take down World 2. Snakebite going right up on the long haul side, so you have Snakebite and Renegade making plays over towards C. Now that all 4 members of FaZe are up, they have to try to find the way either to the Alpha side or to the Bravo side, but the only thing you're gonna find is Formal shock rifle play, immediately putting you at a numbers disadvantage. Renegade gonna break right through. He is able to take down Formal, and that's gonna open things up wide for FaZe to push up.
Yeah, Formal had to back up right there because of the crossfire coming from glass. That creates enough space for Renegade to push through. He does just that, but OpTic maintain this 2 cap, and they also maintain this lead as well. 3 down for FaZe. OpTic looking to take C as well.
Stronghold captured.
Double cap looks like it's gonna be back for OpTic Gaming, so FaZe have been playing well, especially in the Slays department late within this game, but OpTic somehow being the more objective, efficient team here in the early game, and now going into the mid, eventually the 3rd quarter, and Trippy and Formal really starting to heat up. FaZe go 3 down, and you know once OpTic get those numbers, they're not gonna settle for the double cap. They push immediately for that triple. They want to punish FaZe. They want to make them feel that pressure. The triple cap is in. Formal is active, camoed out. FaZe back on their back foot, and OpTic had the opportunity to tie things up at 2 apiece.
Yeah, and I think this is the very first time that FaZe have felt pressure in this series, and now we get to see how they react to it, and right now they're falling. 3 down for FaZe. Formal looking to get the last kill onto Frosty. He gets B. The triple cap is still in effect, Tony. They are climbing faster, about to win this game.
And with 10 seconds on the clock, FaZe have to find himself in 2 different strongholds at the same time. Luckily, Renegade does end up taking down APG, but with that long-range shock rifle shot, that stops them right through the heart. OpTic tied up at 2 apiece.
Wow, what an answer back from OpTic. They get that one game, they come back, end this one convincingly. That ending was so clean by OpTic, that triple cap, forcing the staggered spawns, pushing on a numbers advantage, and taking full control in a triple cap once again. This is a best of 7, but now we go to a game 5. It's gonna be Slayer Aquarius.
The response by OpTic. Things are getting scary. Back in that winners bracket finals, OpTic dominated in 3-0 fashion to knock FaZe into the elimination bracket to put them here to begin with. Since then, in the grand finals, FaZe 4-1 OpTic, took the first 2 games from them. I don't know where this OpTic was during the first series or that first 2 games, but I'm loving it right now because they have answered FaZe back. They are showing that they are the back-to-back-to-back LAN champions, showing that they are your world champions, and showing Lucid also showing why he's the MVP. OpTic looking good. Now it's FaZe once again on the ropes.
One of the things I noticed from that game alone was just the control of the camo. OpTic staying on top of it, making sure to pretty much get every single one. I think they might have lost 1 camo in that entire game, and not that that was the deciding factor, but I think that was a factor for this squad, and they were able to continue to get the slays and continue to play confidently. And like I said, it was the first time we saw FaZe get pressured by OpTic. They had them in a triple cap scenario, and they continued to pressure. It feels like that's the answer for this FaZe roster, pressuring them to the point where they're uncomfortable. OpTic did that perfectly.
We're going to Aquarius for a swing game number 5 here in the best of 7 series. Who is going to gain control? Who is going to claim it? Nothing given. Here in Halo Infinite, every bit of win, every score line, every slay, every spawn trap, everything is earned here, and it's gonna end up here on Aquarius with one of my favorite maps, by the way. Always exciting, always fast-paced, in-your-face action, and a perfect swing game 5 for OpTic Gaming going up against FaZe.
Here we go, game number 5, grand finals, OpTic versus FaZe. Right off the bat, OpTic answer with a kill onto Frosty. They're looking to get this camo as well, but they've got to take out the wall of FaZe that's inside of the utility. They are stuck in there, though, and those dynamos are going to do some massive damage and provide the opening for Trippy to grab the first camo of the game.
Trippy with that combination of both the active camouflage and the heat wave, and even has his teammate over toward the fridge side. Can't quite escape through the B side of the map. Trippy is stopped. APG and Form was still pushed up, so isolating Renegade onto the blue. It looks like they're able to get that kill. OpTic with that early lead, and now pushing right back in for that 50% control.
Double spawn on the fridge. He's trying to fight from there. You see the other 2 staggered towards the P1 side. Up to OpTic to try and isolate a couple of players. They have Frosty and Renegade here in the base, but Matt Formal's not going to see Frosty right there. Frosty ends up saving Renegade, so now they're both able to push on this aggression. They get that first kill, they go in, get another one, and now they're 1 kill away from tying this up.
OpTic end up going 3 down, and FaZe still looking to put that pressure on them. They want OpTic to feel the weight of FaZe just leading into them. But Trippy with the huge kill, that's going to break that setup wide open. Perimeter player is down. OpTic now able to play through it. APG and Formal on the low side. Trippy immediately taking height. APG with the first trade out. Down to one shot is Snake by Trippy, takes advantage immediately, gonna steal that thrust right from him, but it's a work onto Renegade. Renegade having a thrust of his own and that sidekick as well.
That's a big win right there. FaZe are gonna get top control because of that. They get a kill onto APG, which also opens up the map just a bit here, but they've got to deal with Lucid, who is at the bottom center. No unorthodox position for him, but Snakebite wins the 1v1. I believe FaZe are going to have control, I believe, of that camo there, and there it is. In the hands of Renegade is the camo, and Lucid all alone, isolated inside a yellow base.
Yeah, APG thinks he has the opportunity to push out here, but little does he know that FaZe are attacking him at multiple different sides, so looks like one ends up being left alone. Luckily, APG was able to take down Rule 2, but Renegade still gets value out of that camouflage, continues right through it. That's going to be a killing spree being earned by Renegade, almost able to get away with the heat wave and the thrust, but eventually caught out. 2-kill game in favor of FaZe, despite the fact that OpTic had tons of early control.
It's a big 1v1 here. Oh my goodness, Snakebite's gonna get that win. Frosty is across the map. You see where he is on the base there. This is gonna be a problem for OpTic. They've got to take him out quick. APG goes down to him and he stays alive, goes right back in the base. So FaZe are in just control of this entire side of the map, forcing OpTic to spawn on yellow utility. The minute Frosty gets that information, you see him, look, he's pushing up, and now they're gonna pressure together and sandwich OpTic inside this utility. You don't want to be in there, such a tight space.
And looks like they're trying to push up over toward the car. You see Formal all the way toward Dynamos, but he's one shot. Luckily, the Dynamos ripping those shields. OpTic Gaming find the exit, push right on in. You said you didn't want to see them get trapped. Well, they break out immediately, and OpTic bring us back within striking distance, back within 1 kill as active camouflage is coming up. This is going to be an important piece to the puzzle.
21-20 with 8 minutes remaining. Next camo is coming up. Trippy in a situation to win this fight. That's a huge fight by Trippy right there. He stays alive, but the cross shot from Frosty. Frosty does have that top control, and now they also get a kill onto Lucid. They now also have the lead. 3 kills is the lead with 1 dead. Make that 2 for OpTic Gaming. FaZe look to take this camo and control of the blue side of the map.
Frosty somehow able to get away with that camouflage alive. It looks like Lucid was able to take height onto the car side, and they have tons of presence. Does OpTic on the P side of the map. Lucid behind enemy lines. Trippy now coming in to back him up. It looks like Frosty trusting his teammates to deal with that. He's gonna go right after Formal. A little 2-2 split now coming out of FaZe, and that's gonna work out well. You have both sides of the map being addressed here by FaZe, and now they're pushing forward as OpTic are gonna spawn up in a corner, but Frosty does end up going down.
Yeah, that's how important movement is right there by Frosty, though, right? He curb slides past the angles of OpTic Gaming, is able to get that kill. He ends up going down, but movement's such a pivotal skill to have in this game, and Frosty one of the best to do it.
(29-26) here. Frosty getting caught a little bit out of position. Somehow turns that easy kill that should have been into a trade. So I think that's well played by Frosty, getting value out of somewhere that should have been valueless. Lucid and Trippy now moving quickly into position. Both of these teams know how important this mid-map control is, especially when active camouflage is coming up in less than 20 seconds. Snakebite on the low side. Renegade immediately takes height but gets caught clambering. Trippy wants to try to finish him off with the dynamo grenades. Snakebite going right in. He's gonna get caught on card 2. Renegade is forced right back. It looks like World 2 is able to take down 1, but Trippy staying alive, getting max damage and distracting all of FaZe, hopefully long enough for OpTic to grab hold of that active camo.
Yeah, FaZe have a 4-kill lead, and I believe they do also get that camo. Make that 5. Could be Frosty with the camo in hand. Oh my goodness, Snakebite an assist on that kill on Lucid. I thought Lucid was in a position to maybe get that kill, but they send 2. Top center control once again. The pace of the game will slow now, as OpTic is going to look for this opening, but Frosty is going to find an opening of his own. And that will be the first kill that makes FaZe push forward on the map here. It's about Frosty looking at the exits, making sure to find anyone who tries to get out, and he does just that.
We saw another 2-2 split here by OpTic Gaming, but this time it wasn't gonna work. FaZe winning those individual and the team gunfights, which clear OpTic right off of their side of the map, and World 2 just sneaks right on in with the Needler. Eventually, FaZe end up going 3 down, make it 4. OpTic able to wipe them, but they have to keep playing through it. They have to get aggressive and grind forward. You are down by tons here, and if you allow FaZe any kind of real estate, any kind of resource on the map, they're gonna take advantage and ultimately win the game. OpTic, this is their last opportunity. It's gonna take this life cycle in order for them to come back in the game.
OpTic are gonna need a lot. FaZe have won the last 3 Slayers against OpTic. One in game number 2 of the first series, then in game number 5, and now game number 2 of this series as well. OpTic need an answer, and they need it quick.
Only 6 more kills needed here by FaZe. APG stuck on the low side of the map. Lucid is going to take height immediately. It looks like Formal and APG are going to work in tandem, and they thought it was a 2v1 versus Frosty, but Renegade comes out of nowhere. OpTic do win that engagement, taking down 2 while only losing 1 in return, but again, every single trade is going to work for FaZe. They're 5 kills away now from taking the game. Lucid has height. They have control, but they have to value every single life. They literally have to play perfect Halo right now.
And that's the thing, right? Lucid goes in thinking he has an advantage, tries to put some damage in. There's the cleanups, though, by Trippy and Formal. They get 2. Lucid comes back. They get a 3rd. And now we got a 3-kill game just like that, Tony. The tides have changed. OpTic looking to be aggressive. And look, Lucid's looking to win this series. He's not done yet.
OpTic making a statement here, and what a comeback this would be. Again, in a swing. Game 3 now only down by 2 kills is OpTic. Formal pushed up over towards Carl. You have 2 members of OpTic over toward the P side, and APG just waiting for any information to get fed, or maybe get himself a nice little back smack. Snakebite knows that play is coming in. He's gonna trade out his life. Renegade getting caught over towards the fridge, but Lucid ends up overextending it, ends up being taken down by Frosty as well. Both Lucid and Trippy go down. That puts FaZe just 2 kills away from ultimately stealing the game. Here comes the Dynamo grenades in out of World 2, and the rest of FaZe breaking and trapping them onto utility. Renegade deals with 1. World 2 takes down the 2nd. FaZe claim what was rightfully theirs, up 3-2 and 1 game away from becoming your champions.
Wow, what a good close by, what a great close by FaZe right there. OpTic really started to build that momentum. You saw them picking apart the defensive FaZe. Kill by kill, they get those 4 kills at the very end there, and I thought, yeah, this is definitely going to be a game that we have on our hands, but unfortunately, Formal got that cross shot in the base, and Lucid and Trippy push in, but he's not able to get an angle to help them out as much. He gets World 2, who's crossing top center, but that's it. That's all really he's able to do. FaZe looked to control that entire match until that very end, but they take back the control when it matters the most, and they close out that game. The series now 3-2.
Wow. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I almost thought it was possible. I almost thought OpTic were gonna steal that away, Tim. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I really thought OpTic were gonna steal that one away. And as much as we've said, it's been, you know, do or die for OpTic, especially with that first series, you know, now it legitimately is do or die. Now they legitimately are in a must-win game number 6. If they don't win this, they're going down in 2nd place, but they still have that opportunity to send us into a game 7. I have a feeling that everyone at home, no matter whether you're a FaZe or an OpTic fan, I think we all want to see a game 7 because we all are fans of great Halo. So we're going to see if OpTic Gaming can do it, or will FaZe end it right here, right now. One thing that's good for OpTic is early rocket control, early setup, and now they're already on the C side. Can they defend?
Yeah, they got a really early 4 dead there for FaZe. Like you said, they've got everything now, all the tools in the toolbox to work with. The question is, are they going to be able to utilize these? And right there they do. They get 3. Once again, FaZe go 3 down. OpTic, this is what we're used to seeing out of this squad. They've got 25 seconds in the board and counting.
OpTic are playing angry right now. Renegade was able to infiltrate the base just a little bit, just looking to wreak havoc. You see World 2 trying to inch forward and forward onto the purple side. Finally, Renegade is dealt with, but the rest of FaZe now move right into position, following it up with kills of their own. Trippy going right at Snakebite, Frosty right behind enemy lines, damage onto multiple different players, but those players have to go down, and instead Frosty will.
Yeah, unfortunately, FaZe is FaZe is just trying to find openings here, but OpTic is just so good at preventing those openings from happening. They've got a really solid setup onto C. Formal does have that stalker rifle in hand, so gonna be able to put massive damage into anyone who crosses his sight path. And a great job of him to rotate there, just to change direction, to make sure they don't know exactly where he is. Information is king in this game.
Someone needs to remind Renegade Snakebite the game started. Renegade just put his first kill on the board, and as of right now, me and Snakebite got the same amount of kills at the moment here. Luckily, FaZe still able to break through some way. They break the setup that OpTic have, and their first points are on the board here for FaZe. And usually when they get into setups, they are a lot harder to get knocked, to knock out. Trippy and APG, the first ones to go down for OpTic. Lucid lining up the rocket. Gonna be wasted there. That would have been a massive one at that. And Formal ends up going down here, so this play really not working out the way OpTic wanted to. Frosty buys tons of times over towards Subway. Trippy is trying to push forward, but he's getting shot in the back from the flankers that are coming in, the spawning players from Renegade and World 2. Renegade now firing at Formal, puts him down to one shot. Frosty gets the cleanup kill, and once again, FaZe have the ball and are looking to get that lead change in.
They've got a setup. Frosty aware of the spawns here. Great job by OpTic not to go down there while taking Frosty out. So now they can do a full 4-man push. Roll 2 is alone though on the C side. He's gonna try and play it, but Trippy catches it midair. And because of that, OpTic Gaming gonna try to set up here on this C side. With 2 down from FaZe, they can acquire at least 10 to 15 seconds of ball time.
Am I the only one that saw Trippy do like his best Odell Beckham impression? Like he just stretched his arm out, caught that ball, brought it right back in. Wow, what a catch, what a play by Trippy, but is it enough? You still end up going 3 down. You still have OpTic quickly moving right back into their setup. World 2 even putting the assault rifle to work, taking down Formal. APG having no idea that Renegade is lurking in every single corner, so it looks like FaZe are looking to take this game right back in, and OpTic searching for an answer. They're not even anywhere near this ball.
Yeah, something I'm seeing is like when OpTic have a setup, FaZe are just able to aggress and break right through. They find the weakness, they get the first kill, and that's it. But you can see right now, FaZe have a setup. They're approaching that 90-second mark, and not even a scratch on their defense here. Beautiful job by Renegade. He drops down from stairs, but they get the trade. 3 down for FaZe now. OpTic looking to get some ball time.
It was OpTic that started off with that early control. FaZe are able to answer back, take the lead right back in, but now in the 4th quarter where it matters most here in round number 1. Again, FaZe 1 win away from winning your championship here, for taking this grand finals, but it's OpTic Gaming that steal the lead right back, just 10 seconds away from coming out with the win. Here comes FaZe on the offense. Frosty taking down APG. Trippy answers right back in. It looks like FaZe having that numbers advantage. Snakebite knows exactly where the pressure's coming from, but can't quite find the kill. Formal answers with a double kill, gets right back in with that ball. Watch out, Frosty and the nades are coming, and despite not having the aim assist, Frosty still gets the kill. Neck and neck here in round number 1. OpTic are still in play.
Great job by Renegade. He puts damage in on that kill. They get the clean up there. OpTic are 2 down, but so are FaZe. Frosty's gonna get the rest of the time, and there it is. Round number 1 goes to FaZe. This is the game deciding round and the grand finals deciding round coming up next.
We're taking a look at some of the replays here, and I wonder when to catch that double kill by Lucid. This was a huge play, by the way, and Formal staying alive, but eventually Frosty comes in. At the end, Lucid gets a double kill. Lucid actually saw a little straight, that little left, right comes and gets the double kill and gets right into Frosty's face, but sadly time was winding down and Frosty puts that final second in before Lucid's even able to get a shot on him. So great plays by Lucid, but man, the timing just wasn't on its side.
A little bit of deja vu here. OpTic Gaming get initial control.
Double kill.
And they continue on that control. They get 3 down once again. We saw a little bit of this in round number 1. It's not about how you start though, Tony, right? It's about how you finish. And OpTic Gaming, you're seeing massive ball time on the side of APG and Trippy. A little more spread out on that FaZe Clan side.
Great remote detonation, but you saw a quick formal switch to that BR after that rocket shot. He was getting a little flashback from when APG shot that rocket on the purple side. He was like, I don't want no nades to knock my rockets out of the way. So he switched to that BR quick, got himself the kill. The remote detonation was well, and look at the lead that OpTic have started off because of it. 40-0 run. FaZe still 2 down. But stop me if I read this chapter in this book before. I feel like we saw this in round number 1, and FaZe was able to answer back.
Eagle team halfway.
Yes, they were. All it took was 1 break. Trippy though with the shotgun in hand. That break is going to be a little bit difficult. Snakebite does have the stalker. That's a great nade to prevent space from being taken. They get the kill as well. That's 2 down for OpTic. Here comes the break from FaZe. This is their opportunity here. If they can get these rockets, they can potentially set up, get some ball time on the board as well.
How strong are those spike grenades? Once you see
They're
one
so
anywhere near you on those closed corridors, you know you're going down to 1 shot immediately, and eventually that spike grenade leads to a kill, leads to a rockets, leads to a renegade dropping a double kill with the FaZe now back on the board. Lucid taking a lot of damage there, but luckily he can just back down and push over toward the B side. Unlucky for him, it looks like Frosty and the rest of FaZe are still applying pressure there. Lucid makes a play, but eventually another spike grenade is going to take him out, and OpTic are trying to GA spike grenades at this point because they're getting shredded by them.
Yeah, spike grenades. It's one of the many things to control on the streets. See a very massive lead here by OpTic, approaching 60 seconds. They now pass it. FaZe are going to have to work very hard if they want to bring this back, but OpTic playing some very solid Halo, playing together. Here comes the kills. They're 2 down for each side, though. APG, he's the one in a position to potentially get this kill on a Renegade, but he has to back up just due to the fact that Renegade does have the Bulldog, and because he takes so much damage, they're either able to break him down. And Frosty with a double and the perfect setup on a FaZe once again. Can they bring this back is the question.
With FaZe here in round number 2, again, 1 round away from taking your grand finals here. Every time FaZe get locked into a setup, I get that much worried here for OpTic. Renegade in the shadows, challenging him to a Shadow Realm duel like it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Comes out with the win with the Bulldog. Back-to-back kills, though, coming in out of OpTic Gaming. Formal ends up with the double kill, and then he really snaps onto the target here, obliterating 3 members and removing them off of the face of streets, introducing them to the kill feed right as rockets are coming up. Somehow Frosty and Renegade are able to take Formal out from long range. Rockets swing up. Renegade and Frosty getting back-to-back kills. That leads to the 4 down for OpTic Gaming, and now FaZe once again grab that ball, but where did Formal spawn?
I think he spawned Red Room, I'm not sure, but he makes it in there very quickly, and that's something that FaZe has been doing so well. They're just able to be so aggressive off of their death, but also play together, and it's that aggression is what's really garnered them to the success that they're having here. Approaching 60 seconds now is FaZe. 2 minutes and 47 seconds remaining, and the Rockets gonna play a big factor on the defense side here. World 2 gets that kill, and that's the only kill he needed. FaZe now take the lead.
APG caught over towards the middle of the map, but somehow is able to stay alive, doing damage onto what 2, now if not 3 different players here. So somehow comfortable within the chaos that APG is in, but now with Formal, he got his duo. 1-2 combo now running in over toward the subway side. He's gonna take a little bit more of a direct route right into Royal 2. Royal 2 looked like he wanted to play that ball, but didn't expect APG to be there. Snakebite trying to find an answer. He's looking lost. It looks like Royal 2 gets followed up with as Formal ends up taking him down. And once again, OpTic take control here. Renegade and FaZe with the quickness, looking to dive right into subway. The setup is not locked in, and they want to alleviate some of that pressure, but Formal is hiding in the corner like the Call of Duty greedy pro. He was. The campers come up with the back smack. OpTic looking to put the final seconds in to take this round 2.
12 seconds is all they need, and that play by Formal might be the deciding factor in this round. They might tie it up right here. 5 seconds. 2 kills, though, go on the board for FaZe. Lucid just trying to hold this in. He does. They tie it up now. This is it. If FaZe are able to win this, they will win the entire grand finals. Look at this, the back smack. And he knew his Call of Duty skills would come into play, Tony, and they do.
You know, be throwing little shots, but at the end of the day, it's a good play right there. You know
Absolutely.
that Renegade's pushing right through there, using that Shroud to block that line of sight, even hiding in that corner. You know the push is coming, so why take it head on? Get yourself an easy back smack, get yourself a kill, keep yourself those shields, and secure the win. I poke a little fun, but honestly, that was a great play.
It was a great play, and he's made many of them, Tony. Look at his KD right now, 24 and 12. I know we don't put a lot of importance onto KD, but 24 and 12 with 10 assists, the most assists on his team. He's really making an impact in this game.
Easy kill by Frosty, taking minimal damage here. Challenge onto APG, still having the shields to work with, able to take down 2, and eventually Lucid gets left by himself. Renegade not gonna allow any man behind, and that includes Lucid. And that's early control onto the subway side. And it seems like both OpTic and FaZe are very comfortable with the subway side setup. The moment they get it locked in, I feel like that's where most of their points have come from.
Yes, I agree. So much cover on this side of the map. Renegade's gonna play a little bit aggressive here. Look at the damage he's able to do, though, and the fact that he's able to stay alive and he comes right back out. The confidence is immense. But unfortunately, his teammates do go down. 3 down for FaZe. Frosty, he's gonna get an initial kill here, but he gets taken out pretty quickly as well. OpTic's starting to look in form right now, Tony.
And it's still OpTic Gaming that are fighting for their tournament lives right now. FaZe still 1 win away from becoming your champions, and this is round number 3. You can't afford any mistakes here, as minimal as possible. So it looked like the early lead going to be changed here in the hands of OpTic Formal. Over on the Commando side, not all of OpTic are set up around them here, but maybe they're using them as bait, especially as rockets are coming up. FaZe look like they want hands on it. OpTic definitely using that as bait. Even the drop wall, not enough to keep Lucid alive. Trippy is able to take down Frosty, but Renegade has his back, and the follow-through is right in. OpTic Gaming end up going 3 down, and Renegade never loses pips.
That overextension is gonna hurt. If you're OpTic Gaming, it's gonna give FaZe a complete setup here, as well as rockets, but they do answer back with a kill onto Renegade. It's Snakebite, though, with the defensive weapon in hand. He utilizes it to get the very first initial kill. Lucid once again goes into the base. Solo gets a kill of his own. Formal gets a kill of his own. And now 3 down for FaZe. This is a back and forth battle like we knew we would see, and like we're going to see for the rest of the season in HCS. These 2 teams so evenly matched.
This is a brawl. This is a fight. This is your grand finals here. Formal leading Slayer for his team, leading Slayer in the whole game, 31 kills, 12 assists to go along with it. Luckily, FaZe prioritized getting that Stalker rifle out of his hands, because he most likely would have added to the damage that he already has. APG was trying to conceal his presence for as long as possible, but the moment FaZe recognized that, they deal with him quickly. APG ends up going down, FaZe having a slight advantage, and World 2 now having the Stalker rifle that Formal wanted so bad.
Formal still wants it. He's pushing aggressively. He ends up going down, though. And now you see World 2 creating a little bit of space here on the map. This is a great position by him. Even if he doesn't get the kill here, he's got information of where the push is coming, but little does he know, it's just a solo APG. See, right there, he goes up, gets the information, it's only 1, then tries to get the kill, but APG with the big win.
And that win not only puts FaZe 3 down, but puts them in a prime position to be able to grab a hold of that rocket. It looked like FaZe thought that was an opportunity to either rotate that ball, maybe even to play ball. It looks like neither is going to happen. OpTic steal rockets, they steal the ball. OpTic looking for an answer, and FaZe have a long rotation to try to make a route over towards this ball.
Ball taken.
And that's one thing that FaZe would potentially have trouble with. They're just, like I said before, so good at coming off of their spawn and making sure to be aggressive. But as you can see right there, Snakebite goes down pretty early, which is very good for OpTic because it means they get even more ball time on the board. Now a 12-second lead in this third and final round.
Lucid and APG working in tandem with each other onto the B Street. Lucid does end up giving up his life, but to make sure that 2 players end up going down. So that's a net positive for APG and OpTic. But the rest of FaZe spawning up and immediately getting into position. That's going to force APG to try to rotate that ball, throw a couple of denial grenades, anything to stay alive. But sadly, that's not going to stop Renegade from coming over. And this Bulldog, too tough to deal with. Trippy strips it off in the hands of Renegade. Formal goes right in for the challenge. The melees come in. Trippy ends up with a double kill. FaZe now gonna be 3 down. Foster being left on an island right now. OpTic already having the lead and are now about 20 seconds away from sending us into a game 7 here in the Open Series 4K.
Yeah, OpTic is just walking with a pep in their step now. They've got confidence. You can see in the rechalls and those kills. It's not something that they normally do, but against a roster like FaZe, you kind of have to. 2 go down, though, for OpTic. A little bit of a trade there from Trippy. Rockets coming up very, very shortly here. Roll 2 goes down as well. Trippy gets a massive kill right there. The rotation with the ball goes towards B, but these Rockets are in OpTic Gaming's hands, and that's exactly what they wanted.
3 down for FaZe. Trippy now has the Rockets and the ball, and now I'm worried that FaZe are not going to be able to get in position here. Trippy making sure that nobody comes in. That's a warning shot, letting everybody in FaZe know, step 1 further and I'm going to take your head off. Zerusic comes in with the Stalker rifle. It looks like it raising up 2 down. There should be 1 more player left, and Renegade gets a kill onto Trippy, but it buys just enough time for OpTic to take that game. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to your final game number 7 to decide it all.
Game number 7 in the grand finals. We wouldn't have wanted it any other way. 2 of the best teams in Halo duking it out to get this title. Incredible job by OpTic to have the discipline to come back in this series. They looked weak for so very long, but now they go to Slayer. And if you just take a look at the Slayer games in this series thus far, they've been definitely on the side of FaZe. So what answer does OpTic have?
FaZe came into this grand finals having to win 2 best-of-7 series. They come out with a huge 4-1 and a statement. They come out with the 3-2 lead, 1 game away from ultimately knocking down OpTic, but the green wall stands tall and it will not be shaken that easily. OpTic have weathered the storm and have forced a game number 7, and of course the script wrote it perfectly. I've been following word for word, bar for bar like Soulja Boy. This is exactly what was supposed to happen. We were supposed to see a game 7, but this last page, it's blank. It's up to either OpTic or FaZe to finish the story.
I love that. Beautifully said, Tony. And a beautiful series, of course, in front of us. Recharge Slayer, game number 7. The history between these 2 teams extends past this season, extends past the last season, Renegade being that new addition. He's proved to be a problem, I would say. Definitely a very skilled player, one of the best players in the game, but that last game, OpTic found an answer. Can't really go to the Slayers, the previous Slayers. You know, Recharge, this is the first time we're going to be playing Slayer on Recharge in this grand finals. So it's a clean slate, like you said, for both teams, and comes down to who plays better. I mean, I know as simple as that is, but all of these professional players have that switch that they flip where you see the best out of them, and that's why this is such an even matchup. It's just a beautiful thing to watch. This is Halo right here, and this is why we love it.
2 world champions, 2 series here in your grand finals. I think the winner of this gets 2,000 points, which are so important here in season 2. And it all comes down to 1 Slayer. First to 50 kills. 12 minutes on the clock. Game 7 here on Recharge. Who will be your champions? Will it be OpTic? Or will it be FaZe Clan? Tim, I'm so ready.
I am extremely ready, and here we go. We don't have to wait very long. This pace, the pace of this game will change many times. You're gonna see aggression. You're gonna see slow pacing throughout this game. And already OpTic, 3-2 is the lead thus far. Renegade's in a bad position right now. He's trying to stay alive on tower side. Frosty goes down. This is the opportunity now for OpTic to push in.
You always talk about how important that top glass side, this bat ledge side of the map is, to watch those crosses, and that's where OpTic are. They got a shock rifle as well, so far liking the position. Now let's find out what FaZe are gonna do in order to break it. You already are down by 2 kills here in the early game. You end up getting perfected right to your head from one MVP to another, and it looks like OpTic. So you know what, let's not get too aggressive. Let's not make any mistakes. This is the setup that we want. Let's slow the pace right back in and reset once again.
Yeah, that's exactly what will happen. Another pace change. Lucid, though, he has the shock rifle, and this is one of those things that FaZe is keeping in the back of their mind. They're making sure not to overextend, not to overpeak, because Lucid, he's gonna hit that shot, and he does it right there. 6-2 now. OpTic playing very disciplined Halo here. This is what their strength is. Discipline, slow, setup Halo, and they're doing it phenomenally to start this game.
I don't even need to be in a listening to know for a fact that losers, you guys just trust me. Just don't worry.
Right.
I got this. Don't worry. Slow the game down. Let me go off with this shock rifle. But now that the ammo ends up running out, Trippy getting attacked early here by the double push from Renegade and World 2. The flank comes in onto Lucid, but luckily he has Formal to watch his back, and they're gonna deal with it. Now what happens here with OpTic Gaming? Do they keep the setup now that the shock rifle is out of ammo?
Yeah, right. This setup is going to grant them another shock rifle if they can keep it, but FaZe know that. They're already pushing the aggression on the top of red, on the attic here. Formal does have that cross for Lucid. Lucid's going to take a different route right now. Frosty's going to read it. The repulse comes out. That's a big kill for Frosty, and he stays alive as well.
Yeah, I think Frosty really needed that kill right there to get back into rhythm. Starting off 1-5, having 5 deaths of the team's 9 or 8 kills. That was really tough there. So want to see Frosty really start to get into rhythm in the kills and the assist department. It's still obviously very early here, but don't want to let things get out of hand. Lucid going right after World 2, and I love this play, not staying in one spot. He knows those call outs are too crisp from FaZe, so the moment that call out comes in, he's already at a different angle, a different direction, and now another angle from attack for Lucid, challenging Snakebite. Woo.
Wow,
those shots looking like yours, Sim. I ain't gonna lie, those shots looking good. Oh my god.
He stays alive as well, which is so huge because now he's able to reestablish control. They get one dead as well. They're pushing in aggressively. Renegade with the double. And now FaZe have the lead. A 2-kill lead by FaZe. The confidence starting to develop for this squad. World 2 coming in to clean that one up as well. Camo is coming up. They've got to slow down the pace of the game here. Make sure that they can get that camo. They're set up perfectly for it on that C-plat.
It was a shock rifle that allowed this game to get out of hand early here for OpTic, and I think it's going to be the shock rifle again, obviously combined with that camouflage in order to lie. Either one of these teams to control this map. Frosty aware of it. He's going to do everything he can to stay alive. Curbside's right out, even has the repulse to try to get creative, but Lucid not allowing him to escape. He's saying, hey, look, that shock rifle had my name on it. I don't know what you're doing there. Catches him stealing, and now Lucid wants it back.
A couple of 1v1s is going to toss OpTic right back into the swing of things here. A tie game now.
Uh-oh.
Make that a 1-kill lead for OpTic, and uh-oh is exactly right, Tony. 18-17 with APG having this camo in hand. See how FaZe is playing, though. They play back. They have the camo eyes. They're looking around, making sure to spot this camo player. That nade is going to throw him right out of camo, and they're not going to get the kill onto him, but the break and setup will be broken here. OpTic pushing in very aggressively. Formal's going to get another kill, and OpTic have done a really good job of utilizing this camo to completely break the setup of FaZe, and they're wiped there. 4-kill lead for OpTic Gaming.
Yeah, FaZe were really hunched up into one corner, and you know, as every Halo player knows, when you see players hunched up, you chuck nades and just have that patience, and eventually OpTic are able to wipe FaZe off of the A side of the map, following it right through onto the gold side spawners as well. But now that the advantage gets lost, what do OpTic do? They're not gonna extend. They're not gonna put themselves in a bad position. They go right back in, back down, and reset. This is just fundamental Halo that we're watching on both sides, but especially OpTic Gaming at the moment.
Renegade has the shock rifle in hand. This is the highest level of Halo you will ever see right here. A 4-kill lead for OpTic. A chess match between these two. Every decision, every movement can make the difference. Renegade gets the first kill. Here comes the push now. The aggression. Renegade gets 2.
Double kill.
They collapse onto Trippy, but he stays alive. A great live by him. A 2-kill game. OpTic still up.
I said it before, this game is gonna be played and won through the shock rifle, and now it's in the hands of the demon here. Just barely missing out that shot, but let me tell you, he's not gonna miss too many more. And that's because shock rifle is going right off the map. You assume there's gonna be at least a double push here. Or what?
Oh, he takes it back.
I thought he threw it off, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I could have swore he threw that off the map, but clearly I'm getting old. My bad.
I think he tried to throw it up, Tony, but wasn't able to toss it far enough. But now this could be a blunder, Tony, right? Ormal now has the shock rifle. And with the lead that OpTic has and all of FaZe stuck inside of elevator, this is spelling trouble right now, and there it is. That's what you were afraid of. That's the reason that Renegade tried to toss it off the map. You don't want to give the shock rifle to OpTic Gaming, because this is exactly what will happen.
Renegade should have ate them Wheaties, so he could have threw that shock rifle just a bit further off the map. My man couldn't quite get shock rifle real heavy. I'm not surprised. 31 to 23 lead for OpTic Gaming, and once again you have another OpTic member. This time Formal showing what the shock rifle really can do, but only one more shot in it. Meanwhile, Lucid and Trippy apparently don't need a shot. They're going to use the battle rifle and put it to work. Formal looking comfortable despite being in a 1v2, and that's because he knows reinforcements are quickly coming in. OpTic Gaming have been getting quite dominated so far in the early, especially in that first series and even going to the first couple of games in this series. But where it matters most in the game 7, it's 35 to 26. Trippy bringing out the pink mist, and FaZe better be afraid.
It's so true, Tony. You said it just now. Well said. I mean, FaZe have dominated the Slayers, and all the while have been completely throwing OpTic off guard in every single Slayer game. But when it matters the most, discipline wins. And OpTic Gaming showcasing that here with a 10-kill lead. Fortunately, though, for FaZe, they do get out of that spawn trap. Now the first kill comes out onto Trippy. FaZe looking for blood here. They try to push in. Frosty gets killed as well. It's up to Renegade to try and get the trade, but there it is. APG, another camo in hand. 10 kills more, and OpTic Gaming will close this out.
And FaZe are so far behind right now. I don't want to say it's impossible, but it certainly is improbable, to the point where FaZe are now beelining in a straight line of 3 players. They legitimately cannot die. Every single death brings them closer and closer to losing this tournament. Formal ends up getting the kill, and the bait and switch for APG to take down Snakebite. And I said they're getting closer and closer. Right now, FaZe are flirting with death, and OpTic have that riz.
Oh my goodness, the dance for Brawl 2 makes himself such a difficult kill, but it doesn't matter. No one in position to help him out there. 46 to 29, make that 47. APG starting to pop off. 12 and 7. The best game that he's had all series long is the one that matters the most. OpTic looking to close this out.
Trippy dives in, is able to deal with the one-shot player, and in fact, Renegade ends up being taken down here. That's gonna be it. OpTic are your champions once again. Tim,
wow.
What did we just see?
We just saw ice, Tony. That's it. You come out, you play your best game. That's why you got to talk about stats, right? You always talk about stats. You bring them up, and Mr. Snow, obviously in the back, giving us beautiful stats here. But when it matters the most, things will happen. Players will be able to reach levels that you've never seen them reach before. And OpTic Gaming played disciplined Halo. And that's exactly what they needed to do in order to win this series. It didn't look good for most of the series, but they came out when it mattered the most. Incredible job. Congratulations to OpTic Gaming.
OpTic just stare at the face of adversity and no fear, man. No fear whatsoever. You know, forget about the 3-0 that happened in the winners bracket finals, because this grand finals was 10 times different. Like it doesn't even make sense to me that FaZe had that much control and somehow OpTic had the mental fortitude to just stay in it despite being 1 point, despite FaZe having that early control in the 2-0 and then eventually making it a 3-2. And even on FaZe's second best game type on Oddball, it was OpTic that were able to get the win, force us into a game 7, and then dominate from there in the Slayer, which obviously FaZe are a damn good Slayer team as well. I guess the green wall just stands tall. You can bring a wrecking ball like Miley Cyrus. You can drive a tank through it like a scorpion. You can try to go fisticuffs with it. It doesn't matter. The green wall will not be shaken.
We appreciate, of course, everyone that was able to tune in here. LVT Productions, so you guys know, is completely community funded. It's you guys. You guys that have watched the ads for us, you guys that sub to the channel, the Twitch primes in the channel, the gifted subs, all of that. There's a revenue share between all the casters. You guys are the ones that allow us to do this. We are not sponsored. We are not funded by anyone except for you. And it's because of you that we're allowed to watch this magnificent Halo that we were just able to witness once again. A shout out to the entire community. And of course, a shout out to the squads